Mhm.
You were muted the whole time.
Why'd you do it, man?
I stop it. Stop.
Did you do that?
I most certainly did not.
No, man. All right, well, we're gonna have to restart it.
You
We gotta restart the countdown.
you were muted the entire time. I was like, wow. Okay. All right. Well, I'll let you do this. This is the first time. Okay.
I think he's actually gonna do it. Yeah, we're back at it. It's APOSTATE Radio. Got a married man, Isaiah Card over here.
Yes,
APOSTATE Radio. Oh yeah.
You know, I will admit
now we can start talking.
Yes.
What we talk
Now
about.
exactly. We can get started properly now. I do have to say that though, whoever put that 30 seconds together of music was absolutely in their fucking bag. I just gotta say that was incredible. That was I have to say it's pretty catchy. It's catchy. I have to admit.
Oh yeah.
All right. Greetings, everybody. Greetings, salutations, all that good stuff. It is Sunday, and it's 8 o'clock. So, of course, you know what that means. This is APOSTATE Radio. We are here, episode number 23. It's amazing that we've gotten up this far, dude. It is absolutely incredible.
23, huh?
23rd episode. This is fantastic.
Yeah, man, we're moving up.
Yeah, man. And we already got Chris Olin says he's gonna serenade everyone to sleep before the show starts. You know, we promise.
You're gonna do that, Chris, or me? Because like when there's a lot of different emotions that come into people's minds. I think when I start singing.
I mean, usually it's pain.
Usually it's awe. I think emotion, just a lot of emotional love.
Yeah.
Agape.
Agape? Really?
Agape.
Jesus Christ. Anyways.
Caritas.
If you don't already know, that is that's CT's finest right there. The sage here, Mr. Nostra Chavez. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
And of course, I am your host, Isaiah Carter, live from the Boogie Down Uptown. The tippy top of the Bronx is where I'm coming from these days. And this is, of course, APOSTATE Radio. Really thankful to be here. It's been a crazy, crazy few days. So we did a thing. We did a thing this Friday. Me and Kareen. We actually got the legal part of everything together.
You sharing your screen, Isaiah?
Yeah,
You sharing pictures? I don't see them.
I am sharing that one right there.
Okay, here we go. All right.
Yes, that is that just before we went in. That's of course Kareen, myself, and to our left are her parents, and to the right are mine.
That is something. Look at those two lovebirds.
Yeah, man. This was just a great day. And I will admit it was made better by you being there. You had a fantastic picture there. See, there you go.
Look at that. That was a little sneaky paparazzi selfie I did with you guys.
Yeah.
right when they finally brought our food in.
Yeah, man. That was fantastic. But my dad was ready.
Oh yeah.
Like you see my pop behind you. Like, he was ready for that picture.
Oh yeah, me and him were talking a lot actually.
Yeah. So now you understand where I get it from.
Oh now yeah, he's a man of God. You could tell.
He is, and he has been for quite some time. And I love you. Shout to Kevin Carter, my pop, one of the greatest dads in the world. and I would say yes, he's the greatest. But I'd be a little biased. Great father, great grandfather. He's an awesome grandfather. He's not a great grandfather.
But you think he would be a great great grandfather? I'm sure.
Oh my God, yeah, he absolutely would be. Absolutely would be. All right, so let's get down to business here. You can follow us, of course, at Isaiah L. Carter or at Nostra Chavez. Show page is Apostate Radio NY. We do show updates, talk a little bit of crap. You know what I mean? We're just doing our thing there. You can support the show at Apostate Radio, at buymeacoffee.com/apostate radio. We're going to be doing a lot more with some things following our hiatus. After next week's show, we are going on hiatus for a couple weeks. We will not be back until August 10th. And we're going to retool some things. Have a little bit of we'll be able to offer more things, I think, to
I may do a couple episodes in your absence, Isaiah. We'll see.
Go right ahead.
Just a FYI to everybody. I might do at the same time, maybe some other people.
I appreciate that.
Some people of mine. I just got to double check with the schedule and who can do it, but I think so. I think I'll try to do it.
Bro, go right ahead. I'd love it.
Or I might chicken out, man. I might.
Nah, don't do that.
I might taco out. We'll see.
Nah.
I might not go.
No, dude, you would be fantastic. Chris Olin said, Dan was a great show last week. Had to catch it on demand. Keep on killing it, guys. Congrats, Isaiah.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you.
You're the man, Chris.
Yeah, Chris, thank you.
That was a great show.
Thank you. And yes, I shout to Dan Bermawi, who again, I don't think I said it last night we had him on. One of the most courageous men you'll ever meet. And I mean that wholeheartedly. To take that kind of stand, knowing exactly what we're up against, is fantastic. And he is someone I admire, someone someone whose courage I aspire to imitate. Marie Isabella says, of course, is coming by for a bit, saying hi and congrats on the civil marriage. Thank you, Marie. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. And here we go. I'll share some other stuff a little bit later, or I'll drop them in the chat a little bit. But coming to the stage tonight is a friend of mine who I've known for quite some time. I met this lady when a couple years ago, when the gender madness was at its peak. Okay, during the Biden years. Okay, some of the darkest years of this nation's history, to be quite honest with you, the grip of madness, and we actually we were introduced by a mutual friend of ours, and we've just kept in contact. This lady is right now the Republican candidate for district attorney in Manhattan, in Manhattan, New York County. And it is my honor to have on the show tonight Miss Maud Maron. Hello, dear.
Hello. I'm so very happy to be here.
Thank you. We are happy to have you here as well. We got a bit to talk about tonight. But before we get into it, please, for our audience, since you are new to the show, please let everybody know who you are and what it is that you are about. You have the floor, my dear.
Okay, well, where to begin? I am a New York City mom. I have 4 kids, and before I started doing some of the advocacy work that I've done, and as Isaiah said, he and I met talking about gender madness in our city, in our schools, in our institutions. But before that, I was a public defender at the Legal Aid Society, working in both Manhattan and the Bronx, representing in criminal court people accused of crimes as their, court-appointed attorney. So did that for about 2 decades, and then began, because after a while I have 4 kids, I started to have kids in the public school system, ran for my school board, has served in many different positions, elected positions in the schools, championing both high quality public school education, merit, equality of opportunity, and not equality of outcome, and other common sense, sensible things. And getting lots of pushback because we have a lot of lefties in this city who disagree with those good common sense positions. And then I've worked in the not-for-profit world for some time, doing consulting work and doing work leading startups and not-for-profit foundations in the sort of heterodox space. But I've always been willing to throw my hat into the ring. I ran for city council and for Congress in 21 and 22. I think that's back when we met, Isaiah. It feels like a longer time ago than that, but maybe it was 2020 or 2019. But ran for office as a Democrat and as a moderate Democrat. And one of the things I'd love to talk to you guys about is why that doesn't work in a lot of places in New York City right now, and why I'm running as a Republican now. But yeah, that kind of brings us up to date. And me, I left the Democratic Party, and when I talk about why I did so, I cannot resist quoting Ronald Reagan, who said, and my old progressive lefty self is always surprised when I do this, but I'm going to quote Ronald Reagan, who said, "I didn't leave the Democratic Party left me." And I feel that so strongly because I didn't wake up and have this conversion. I didn't go, I was a pro-choice, Democrat who believed in gay rights and, in minority, in protecting free speech rights and making sure minority populations have their voices heard. And all those things that I believe then, I believe now. I just don't think the Democratic Party in New York, as it's currently constituted, is doing a good job of living up to those values. It became, especially during the COVID years, and I did a lot of advocacy around getting our schools reopened and getting some of the unreasonable COVID restrictions lifted. The left, which I had previously identified with, became very authoritarian, very, you kind of, without room for dissent, and I couldn't recognize my party. It was like, what is this? You're not allowed to say masks don't work and kids should be in school. And why are we imposing these bizarre COVID restrictions on businesses that are going to go out of business if we keep this up? And many did. And that, kind of drove me into the arms of the Republican Party. And it's not, maybe it's a perfect marriage, but here I am and trying to make it.
I think what you said is very indicative of where a lot of people are. Those of us who have not lost our minds, right? Like we see where the party is, we see what these people have become, and in many respects, we're just like, what happened? Like, I've sat here. I mean, we all lived through the COVID era, and I've never seen such a turnaround in my life where the same people who were, the party of science and the party of, of rationality, and always tried to be like on the right side of history, of, trying to be like always doing the right thing based on being rational, then became this right side of history kind of people where it no longer mattered. It was like, our politics are this isn't just a matter of politics. This is now a matter of morality. Like politics became morality for so many people in the last several years. I mean, what was your experience like amongst in the circles that you run with, like initially? Like, what was that like for you as to borrow from Reagan again? What was that like to just what was that process like for the left to just leave you the way that it did?
You're right. You hit the nail on the head, Isaiah, when you say the morality part of it, because when when your political positions become really self-righteous, you can't have rational conversations with people you disagree with, right? Like there are people who really believe like climate change, it's an existential crisis, and there are other people who are like, I'm not so convinced. You should be able to talk about those things. Like what are the policies that we should impose? Same thing with like mask wearing. Like my youngest kid was 3 years old in March of 2020. And I was like, really? We have to put a mask on his face for him to go into a restaurant or a store? Like, this makes no sense. And I'm not an epidemiologist. I'm not, not to sound like a Supreme Court justice saying I'm not a biologist, but I don't profess to have expert knowledge or, about infectious disease control. But it didn't take that much, expertise after a while to look around and be like, doesn't seem like kids are dying of COVID in New York City, especially not little kids, healthy teenagers. Like the whole thing started to seem nuts. And then when you start to follow people who are experts, I started to follow folks who were, saying the blasphemous things like, the schools should be open. We should pretty much be going back to normal. We should have some focused protections for the elderly and vulnerable. Well, I thought that made sense. And I thought they made credible arguments and offered the left was like, outraged. You were a bad person. You weren't just a person with a different opinion. You were a bad person if you said, we should just go back to normal open society. We were killing businesses, hurting kids. Like, I mean, I think it actually was deeply immoral to let old folks die alone in a hospital and not let their partner of 50 years go in and hold their hand as they passed because you were pretending that this was some science-based intervention. It wasn't. And even if it was, it's like you take risks in life. I would take a risk to be near my loved one as they're passing. And it's like all of society imposed the answer on all of us. And you're right. It just was this, you're a bad person if you disagree. I wasn't super surprised, by the way, when it happened during COVID because it had happened early. I joined my school board for the first time in 2017, and you were a bad person if you thought there was any reason why test scores were low or that Black students weren't getting into the most accelerated programs other than racism. You had to say it was racism, 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 white people bad, or you were the immoral one. You couldn't offer up any sort of other sort of data point solutions, ideas. Well, you could also acknowledge that the racism is real in the world. It exists and always has existed, but you can say like, this isn't the sole reason or even the primary reason.
The main reason, yeah.
So I was used to that you're a bad person if you disagree thing that was coming out of the left, but then it just kept getting applied and applied and applied to every new circumstances. And now it's like, you listen to NPR and it's like everything is just you agree with us or you're a bad person.
It's horrible. Go ahead. Go ahead. Nose.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's exactly how I experience things as well. I heard you mention before how you're talking about like totalitarian, how the left has gotten so totalitarian, which is so true, including, which I don't think you mentioned, like trying to implement across the world, they have implemented, but, hate speech laws, right? Where it's like, just questioning gender affirming, care, where they're castrating kids and sterilizing them, that's like, that's a hate crime. It's hate speech. You can't say it. Like that's extremely totalitarian. And some would say fascist, right? And also they're trying to control social media, the same thing. They'll deplatform people, that sort of thing. How frustrating is it to you that the people who are on conservatives or moderates or disaffected liberals, like all of us are? How frustrating is it that we will be the ones called fascists while they're the ones that act the most fascist?
Yeah. I will say this because folks who think like the three of us do, I sense there's some overlap in our thinking.
There is. There is.
We sometimes we have a laundry list of all the things going wrong, but I'll say this to sound a super positive note. Everything you've just said about authoritarianism, it has made me so grateful for the First Amendment in this country.
Yes. Amen.
See what's going on in places like England, a mom like me who likes to mouth off on Twitter on X, like it could land you in jail if you live
crazy.
bonkers, like totally crazy, insane crazy. And I feel like it's made me deeply grateful for the First Amendment. And later on, if I can tell you guys, I had a big First Amendment win in federal court last year.
Ooh, I want to hear about that.
Oh yeah, we should. We definitely want to hear
I
about
definitely want
that.
to hear about that. That's my number one. I think that's my number one issue is the First Amendment. Like, keep protecting that.
Before we go, I have a Nostra Chavez. Nostra is your first name. I gotta understand.
it's a play on Nostradamus. It's a
Okay.
nickname I had from back in the day when I was a New York City FC or journalist, writer, commentator. I predicted the season ticket holder total of our first season, and everybody's like, yeah, like it was like 15,000. And I was like, I think it'll be like about 15,000. I said like 4 or 5 months before they declared it, and everybody's like, yeah, right, bro, it's not going to happen. And then, of course, it was 15,000. 15 or 16,000, and then I was like, well, forever now everybody's got to call me Nostra Chavez, and a lot of people did after that.
I like it. But what if people
you can call me Chavez, you can call me Nick, it's fine.
You go by Chavez or Nick?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I didn't know. I had to clarify.
I know people probably get confused by that.
Well, quick question. I mean, have you been to any New York City FC matches? I'm pretty sure you've been like 1 or 2.
Who are you asking? Me?
You, yeah.
No, I tend to go more to my kids' sports games. I got 4 kids and they all play. So the bulk of the soccer games that I have watched over the last decade have been league games.
Yes. It's enough live sports for you, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So what inspired what inspired you to run for DA? I remember you, if I remember correctly, you were on a community board in Manhattan, and then something took place, and then you got kicked off.
Yes, that's the speech win. That's I can tell you what happened. I was elected to the school board. We call them community education councils in New York, but they're basically a school board. In the rest of the country, you call it a school board. I was elected by the parents of my district. I was on that school board. And the previous mayor, Bill de Blasio, had, at the tail end of his term, had implemented a speech code. They called it a code of conduct, but it was a speech code because, to the point to what Nick was just talking about with regard to, getting thrown in jail for social media posts in England or in other countries, these hate crime laws, they imposed this code, which I thought was unconstitutional the second I saw it, because it was about not saying things that cause harm to other people. Well, you don't have to like my opinions, but that's what the First Amendment is there to protect: hate speech that other people don't want to hear. We don't need the First Amendment to protect the ideas and words that we all agree about. You need to protect the speech that pisses off the powerful, that offends the people who are in control. So I said there was some very anti-Semitic stuff going on in my daughter's high school. I spoke out about it, gave a quote to a New York Post reporter about it. I mean, he called me and asked me a question. I told him what I thought about it. And the chancellor used it really very pretextually to kick me off the council. So I was removed from the council. I was already in court with 2 other plaintiffs suing about that speech code because I knew it was unconstitutional. And I knew it was being used to chill the speech of parents like me.
Yes.
And even though the official reason they kicked me off was the words I said objecting to anti-Semitism in my daughter's school, every newspaper, including the New York Times, that covered that removal mentioned my loud objections to gender ideology in the school as a reason why the school chancellor actually wanted to get rid of me, right? They all agreed that it was like this mom who won't stop talking about gender ideology in schools, and they finally found a reason to kick her off the council. So they kicked me off. Wonderfully, I was in federal court, and the First Amendment still reigns supreme. The
Thank God.
Judge who restored me to the council, who granted a preliminary injunction and said, you can't do this, said basically that the case is still ongoing. It hasn't been decided, but a preliminary injunction means that the judge has signaled they're probably going to win this. We're going to give them the relief now because otherwise you're going to be harmed. And so I was restored to my council and able to finish out my term.
Thank God.
But there's been, just an ongoing effort to shut up TERFs like me.
Oh, yeah. No. Long live the TERFs.
Long live the TERFs. It's almost as if...
I'm a TERF.
I am I'm beyond that. When it comes to, I guess if I had to put, when it comes to gender cultism, and I refuse to call it ideology.
Mm-hmm.
I think I genuinely believe that people who call gender ideology anything less than a cult
Mm-hmm.
is not, like, I'm more or less on the Wesley Yang scale of things,
Mm-hmm.
where I believe this was an unconscionable, unforgivable evil that's been unleashed
Mm.
onto society.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the my views on the gender madness is, this was what people needed to break the minds of the college educated, the affluent. And I hate to, I'm gonna throw race in there too, because it's a thing, because most of the people who are who practice gender cultism are white. Okay. So for me, it was always like, I looked at this and it's like, this was a very violently misogynistic movement.
Mm.
It was egregiously homophobic,
Mm-hmm.
because this movement essentially castrated gay children. If they were boys or even girls, they would essentially castrate children who would end up being gay
Yeah, much of the
or
time they would end up
lesbian.
being gay, apparently, according to some studies.
So it's morbidly homophobic, I would say.
Mm.
And on top of that, hideously racist. I consider the gender cult to be hideously racist.
Why? If I may ask, I'm just curious. I don't know why you say that.
Sure. I'll be happy to explain. Happy to explain my position on this. So, in DEI, okay, the diversity, equity, and inclusion industrial complex, right? The main people, the DEI, the ones who run the nonprofits, the ones who have the, like all of the higher positions, 3 out of 4 of them are white. Okay. It is an industrial complex, again, that creates highly motivated and highly refined racists, doing so by placing black people, predominantly black women, at the forefront of their movements. Okay. So when you have so many black people in the public facing positions, like if they're national trainers or coordinators or whatever, and they're the one that they usually are, they usually have a type. Okay. When you put them out front and make them the face of your movement, what you do is you give them what I've called color legitimacy.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning you put a black face on it, like a box of Uncle Ben's rice
or
Aunt Jemima. Yeah, when you make blacks and Hispanics a mascot
Mm-hmm.
of your movement, that to me makes it abundant. It makes it astonishingly racist. I'll give you another example of how gender cultism is racist. Malcolm Michaels Jr. Malcolm Michaels Jr. Does the name ring a bell?
No.
Malcolm Michaels Jr. was your run-of-the-mill drag queen. He was a gay black man living in the West Village. Okay, he apparently went to he went to Stonewall to check some stuff out. He wasn't exactly there, but that did not stop these people. Malcolm Michaels Jr. was a very troubled man. He died. He committed suicide. But the world knows this black man by his drag name, Marsha P. Johnson.
Yeah. Marsha P. Johnson, I know.
Marsha P. Johnson was a drag persona.
Mm-hmm.
And what these people here in New York, in these white leftists and all of these gender cultists throughout the country, what they did is they posthumously transed him
Mm-hmm.
and then made him the mascot of the movement. He was one of the first ones. Dude, I got proof of this.
Yeah. No, there's a guy who I followed on Twitter, a
That's
white,
crazy.
gay, older man who I'm too bad I'm blanking on his name, but who's written about this a lot, about the Stonewall stuff and being there, and the fact that like a drag queen like Marsha P. Johnson, you know, whatever the non-drag name was, you're right about the transing, like posthumously transing. But I've seen people trying to like posthumously trans like Joan of Arc. Like they go back to
Yes.
you know what I mean? And like they go back and they start saying that's not a trans person. It's like, what are you talking? That's where Isaiah, your notion about it being a cult has lots of evidence to back it up, because you see all this kind of crazy talk about people in the past.
Oh, I've got more.
Another thing about this,
keep talking.
Yeah,
Go
another
ahead,
thing that I
go
don't think you
ahead.
guys mentioned is to me the gender cult and the whole movement is clearly a way for the left to try to expand, especially the critical theory Marxist left, to try to expand their civil rights population. You know, the potential for more civil rights movement, for more of a reason to think they're oppressed, because racism is really outward racism, at least, and systemic racism has certainly declined quite a bit. If you know, racism is what's the word? You know, they're trying to resuscitate it. It's almost dead.
I agree with you, because I've seen. I mean, I'm not the first person to say this, and lots of other folks have said it, but it's like, first of all, the gay rights movement was so completely successful in a relatively short period of time.
That as well, yes.
Yes.
Think of it generationally. And it's like, trans stuff is very much the actual real conversion therapy for reasons that you guys both mentioned already.
Yep,
but,
absolutely.
But the reality is, if you had a big, not-for-profit NGO that was like dedicated to gay rights, and all of a sudden you win, it's like, what are you going to do? Pack up and go home? You got to move on to the next.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And you want to keep those donor dollars coming, and so trans is the next thing. But it really is funny how Americans are really very, very comfortable with the idea of gay folks getting married. And part of it is because, like, I was reading something today, and I'm sorry that I can't remember who it was to credit the person, but this idea, it might have been Lior Sapir at the Manhattan Institute. He was writing that that the more Americans got to know gay people, like, turns out Tom, my neighbor's gay. Like the more the more they got like, you know what, I'm sort of okay with gay people getting married, or gay people being in the military, or gay people this or that. The more people get to understand the trans world and the trans stuff that's going on and see the less accepting they are.
The opposite happens.
That's going on with
it's
kids.
the exact opposite.
As it should be.
And that makes sense.
Now, let me ask you this. I mean, because I will just here's where I'm going to give you some examples. This is from I took all of these pictures. Okay, this is in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. Okay, and what we have here is Patagonia. Okay, with the and I'm going to go into the Progress Pride flag as to why this is one, an abomination, but two, a tacit admission of racism. Okay. But I'll get into that. But this is what I really wanted you to look at.
I know that park. My kids have played soccer right down the road from there, and I had to walk
Bushwick Inlet. Yep. I've played soccer there myself at that park. I will not set foot in this place. I will not set foot in this place. This to me is an obscenity of this is an obscenity of guilt, of white guilt, in my opinion.
It looks like a very nice park. I have
How's
to
pay
say.
it no mind mean? Is that on the park sign?
Yes, it is. Pay it no mind was apparently that was apparently his catchphrase.
Okay.
Or at least they say it was. But yeah, this
the one
right
that they
here
posthumously made trans
Exactly. And
And
of
he
course,
was
and
just
look,
he was just a drag queen. Was that what his
he
story
was
was?
just a drag queen,
Which is
but
not the same thing. Yes,
correct. But they transed him.
of course it
They
did. Yeah.
turned him into, and
Yeah.
of course, look, dedicating the state park for
Her
Marsha
memory.
P. Johnson will ensure, right, and fighting
Oh
for
my
equality. One, again, he
What a-
was not trans.
Mhm.
Okay, he was not trans, and two, he wasn't even there for the Stonewall riot.
Yeah.
People love to say that he was the one who threw the first brick,
Mhm.
but it didn't happen. What these people did was they 1619 the gay rights movement. They 1619, but we're getting a bit off track. We're getting a little bit off track because we could talk about this all day. I want to know about what inspired you to run for Manhattan DA, because I'm sure you've seen, you live there.
Mm-hmm.
You're in the belly of the beast.
Mm-hmm.
What inspired you? Well, I'm pretty sure I can answer this myself, but what inspired you to take on this guy and all of his Soros money and all of the chaos that he's created there in New York County?
Yeah, well, look, sometimes I wake up and I don't know the answer to that question, Isaiah. I think, why in the world did I take this on and do this? It's so crazy. But there's other days where I'm pretty clear-headed about it. The reality is, like, public safety is really one of the first, if not the first, things our government needs to provide to us. If you don't have public safety, if you can't walk out of your house safely and down the street safely, your society is falling apart. And for me, this sort of far left ideology, whether you saw it in closing the schools, whether you see it in trans stuff, whether you see it in defund the police, whether you see it in city planning, where you have this new mayor candidate saying, that he wants to freeze the rents and open government grocery stores and try socialism for real this time, and all these other lunatic things we're hearing. It just has to be opposed. You have to oppose those bad ideas. And I am firmly of the belief, and because I said I ran previously as a Democrat, that we need to duke it out. We need to fight for the soul of New York City in the general elections in November. And the reason that is, and this is super important, is because I know that there are enough voters to turf out bad district attorneys like Alvin Bragg, to defeat bad candidates like Zoran Dani. But you cannot win by fighting only in the Democratic primary, because one, it locks out the independents and the Republicans and the sort of undecided voters who can't vote in the Democratic primary. And also, we know why this is, I can't tell you, but we know that the furthest left people come out more in the primaries than sort of the moderate, everyday Democrats. So that's a voting pattern, well documented. I can't tell you why it is. It just is. So if you
is that just in New York City, Maud? This voting pattern?
I don't know. I know it is in New York City, but I don't want to speak. My guess would be that it's probably in other cities that have this two-party primary.
You're talking about New York City when you say that.
Yeah,
I'm thinking. I have a hypothesis of why that is. I mean, we just learned that DSA and I think some other like leftists put a lot of money behind Mamdani. I think they had canvassers from Atlanta, I think, and some other places. Is that right?
Yes, that is true.
So maybe they do that for the primaries because they're always trying to get far left people up top of the ticket of the Democrats. But then in New York City, we were told by Curtis Sliwa or somebody. Actually, no, it was one of our other guests, the VP of GOP in New York City, I think it was. It said we are outnumbered. Republicans are outnumbered 8-1, I believe, in New York City.
Yeah, he did say that.
So maybe left feels like they don't need to put the money behind in a general election.
Well,
does that make sense?
Yes, there's a whole lot of things there, but let me just go back to what I was saying, which is if you want to build winnable coalitions from moderate or center-right positions, you need the Republicans, the independents, and the moderate Democrats to be able to vote together. And that can only ever happen in a general election because you can't vote in the primary. We also know, Nick, that there's the other voting pattern that I think is really noteworthy is that we get a lot more people coming out to vote in the presidential years. After that, it's the midterm, so 2026 for our president. This kind of year, we do have a mayor election, which is a big deal and getting lots of media attention. But for the most part, these are off-year elections in terms of the federal cycle, in terms of, people paying attention. A lot of people just don't sort of pay attention to these elections. It's super important to focus on the general election. And now people are, because Mamdani has scared a lot of people, right? There's a bunch of people who are now like, oh my gosh, we have to pay attention to the general election. As a woman running against Alvin Bragg and trying to win the Manhattan district attorney race, I'm not unhappy that suddenly a bunch of people have decided we want to pay attention to the November election. That's my real election. I'm not real happy about the outcome of the Democratic primary because I think Mamdani is a terrible candidate, but I am happy that people are like, oh, actually there's a general election in November. I can show up and I can impact who is the leader of this city. So that's, trying to be glass half full about it. That's a good thing.
I mean, I think it's a good thing because what is happening is, and I actually made a video about this this past week where I said this particular the people have been scared rightly about Zoran. Okay. Zoran is a bad guy. He is someone who he is an avowed communist. He is an anti-Semite, regardless of what people might think of him, regardless of how honeyed his words might be. This man is a liar. This man is someone who has proven that he will lie and say and do whatever to achieve power, even at his young age.
Even eat rice with his hands in New York City.
Right, exactly. He eats a fucking burrito with a knife and fork on the 1 train. That is disgusting to me. That right there should have disqualified him. If you really, because listen, transplants do that. Midwestern gentrifiers from Nebraska trying to be cool do that. I've been living in Baltimore. I've been living here. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. I've been living here for over 10 years. There ain't no way.
Yeah.
Like, it's gross.
But look,
y'all want power? You want to give this guy power?
I know. What is there tons of performative, ridiculous stuff? Yes, but you got to give credit where credit is due. That young man campaigned up a storm, and he worked the ranked choice voting system.
He absolutely did.
The matching fund system really well. He did a lot of smart campaigning. And the thing, so I'm a registered Dem upstate, but I voted for Republican candidates in most elections for the last decade. I'd vote for Maud Maron without hesitation if I lived here. Thank you.
Chris, yes, absolutely.
But what I was going to say is that that it's why I'm just very bullish about running as Republicans, even if I'm not saying that Republicans are going to start winning more than the few reliably red districts that they win right now. It's 5 out of 51, Republicans in the New York City Council. But I think we have to run, because if you don't, we cede all the territory to the Zoran Mamdanis of the world. If it's not him, it's somebody else. And I get so frustrated, I'll tell you, I call it the least bad Democrat theory. As a former Democrat, we're always being told to vote for the least bad Democrat to fend off the really bad Democrat, right? So it's vote for Eric Adams because we don't want Maya Wiley. She's too leftist crazy. And it's true. She was a crazy leftist, and Eric Adams was a better candidate than her. But wait a second, look where we are now with Eric Adams. And Eric Adams would be a ton better than Zoran Mamdani. So would Cuomo, for that matter. But I don't want to vote for the guy who's just not as bad as the other guy. I want to vote for somebody who has good ideas and a good platform that will lower my taxes, raise my safety, keep my kids' school good, make my parks nice and not crazy transified. Although if I had to live with anything, I'd live with the loony trans parks. I want a high quality of life. I pay a ton of money in taxes. I would like services. I would like to walk down the street without seeing people shitting on the sidewalk, which I've now in the last few years had to see more than once in my
Oh my God.
We need higher quality of life for all the money that we spend. And I want to raise my kids in a clean, safe city. That's not a big ask for a taxpayer, and
It really isn't.
And I think in order to make that our focus and not the crazy leftist platforms, we need to duke it out in the general election, not which is the least bad Democrat, which is what we've been reduced to voting for the last few cycles.
You ain't kidding. I mean, and to be honest, it's driving me crazy. Like this whole thing between Cuomo and Adams, it's like, who's going to drop out?
It's a lot of big egos.
Who's going to drop out? It's a lot of big egos. And meanwhile, the one Republican who's running on the ticket, and Curtis Sliwa, everybody is just treating this guy like he's chopped liver. I'm going to be honest with you, it pisses me off. It really does. It pisses me off because it's like I get it. If you don't have faith in him, okay, for whatever reason. I don't know if it's because he's an outsider. I don't know if he's someone that I don't know if it's because you can't control him and he makes it very, very clear that the establishment, that whatever establishment GOP here won't control him. But I have to say, it really says something to me that the one guy who's running unabashedly as a Republican, and everyone from Trump to Katsimatidis here, everybody's like, oh, we need to vote for Adams. Or we need to, or like someone like we have to support anybody but. It's like, okay, we want to support anybody but Zoran, right? Anybody but Zoran can get into office, okay? And then you say, well, as Republicans, you're saying let's go vote for a Democrat. Why?
Yeah.
Why?
I know. Curtis has a base of people who love him and will vote for him. Eric has a base of people who will turn out for him, I do believe. And Cuomo, so he got a lot of votes, not enough to beat, the winner, but he got a lot of votes, and he does really well in the Black communities of this city. They all have bases of support.
Yeah.
But you do not have to be a genius political strategist to understand split the vote. It's like,
exactly. And here's what makes this worse. Zoran is tapped. Do you understand? Zoran is tapped at 35%. I have never seen a poll in all of these split polls. I have never seen him go any higher than between 33 and 35%.
But that's
you can only find so many white nepo babies and gentrifiers, man.
That is his ceiling.
Yeah.
And then when I saw that poll that inspired the video last week, it's like, guys, if either one of you drops out, you get whatever the other party got. Whatever the other not 100%.
But yes, there are votes that would transfer from Cuomo to Adams and to Adams to Cuomo. There'd probably be votes that would transfer from Sliwa too. Yes, I think there's some vote fungibility among the three of them. Even Jim Walden. Jim Walden's still in the damn race. There's another guy named Hernandez who's in the race. There's people. There's other folks. They're going to split those votes every which way, and then Mom Donnie as mayor. But
getting back to you, and getting back to what first off, I want to know this. For our viewers,
mm-hmm.
the reason why there are so many, especially if you're in New York. If you're in New York, you see this. If you've ever wondered why so many of your convenience stores, high-end retail, and stuff like that get looted or used to get looted sometimes on a daily basis, it's because the incumbent Attorney General Alvin Bragg said that district attorney. Sorry.
We got a bad attorney general too, but let's focus on our bad.
Her. Yeah. I'm sorry, because in where I'm originally from, like the city prosecutor, like we would call it in Maryland the state's attorney.
Yeah.
So it's all over the place in titles, anyways. The district attorney for Manhattan wrote a memo saying that he would not that his office was not to prosecute shoplifting up to $750.
Yeah,
or was it
$1,000 is the grand larceny number. Alvin Bragg wrote a day one memo instructing the assistant district attorneys who work in his office not to prosecute a whole slew of crimes. One was fare beating, so jumping the turnstile. The other, which I think is still, I'm gobsmacked by it still, was resisting arrest. The cop gives you a lawful order and you tell the cop to go to hell and swing your arms. That used to be an automatic arrest. Not under Alvin Bragg. He said no to resisting arrest. And then he also said a lot of robberies with guns, robberies with operable guns, robberies. Someone walks into a bodega to steal things and they're armed. He's like, nah, we're not going to charge that as a robbery. We'll pretend like that's misdemeanor petit larceny, which I find really completely shocking. And
that's crazy.
It's insane.
Because you can easily accidentally kill somebody, right? If you're bringing a firearm, that's just extremely dangerous. Even if I don't plan on using it, but things go crazy. Somebody attacks me, I freak out. Boom. That's just that's got to be a very serious penalty.
And the thing is, even if, right, the most awful thing, which is somebody gets hurt by a weapon-toting robber, if you're the person, if you're the mom, the dad, the grandparent, the young kid working after school who's behind the counter, just because you don't die that day doesn't mean that it's not really terrifying and traumatizing to have somebody with a loaded gun point that gun in your face while they're cleaning out the cash register. That's a horribly scary crime to live through. And Alvin Bragg was sort of like, no harm, no foul. If nobody gets hurt, we're just going to pretend like that's a petit larceny. But that's not petit larceny. Petit larceny is when you walk into a store and steal stuff that's less than $1,000 without a weapon, without the threat of violence, without trying to hurt somebody. And, that was Alvin Bragg for you on day one. And he is a chameleon who's trying to pretend like he's a little more interested in law and order now, but he really hasn't raised his voice to, one, he hasn't changed his policies. He put out some clarifying memo because it was a big, kerfuffle when he first released that. There was a ton of media attention about it. But in addition to that, he's been really silent on a lot of laws that came out of Albany a few years ago that really changed the administration of criminal justice in our city. One is bail reform. I saw one of your viewers mentioning bail reform earlier, but the other are the changes to our discovery laws, which make it very hard for district attorneys to comply with all of the discovery requests that they need to comply with before a case gets, trial ready. And so you wind up with this phenomenally high dismissal rate. Cases never even get prosecuted because they wind up being automatically dismissed because of these changes in discovery laws. There's also two other law changes. One is a parole law change and one is a juvenile justice law change. The parole law has this Orwellian name called less is more. And the idea was to, and the idea was to make parolees do less time when they violate parole. And the other is a juvenile justice law called Raise the Age, which as a former defense lawyer, I've seen a lot of young guys go get cycled through the criminal justice system, from a really young age. And as a defense lawyer, you see the heartbreaking cases, right? The cases where you really want to try to get your client the second chance, the third chance, and get him out of jail. But that's the job of the defense lawyer. It can't be just an edict from on high from Albany that covers absolutely everybody, because then people who are really dangerous and shouldn't be out on the streets get back out into the street, because the judge has no discretion in a ton of these cases. And we've seen, and it really backfires for young people across our city, because when the young folks who have guns, who are joining gangs, who are doing initiation rites, who are breaking the law seriously and regularly, when those young people cycle in and out of the system really quickly, it shows everybody else that there's no consequence to what's going
Right.
on. It also puts guns in the hands of really young kids who learn that there's no consequences. And Nick, like you were saying before, it's a recipe for people getting hurt, because, if you can have your gun with you all the time, and you can take it into stores even when you're, clearing out the cash register, eventually somebody's going to get hurt, because 16, 17-year-old boys who are bad decision makers in the best of times, because people can't, think to future consequences that well, your brain hasn't fully formed yet.
Sure.
People are going to get hurt. And then the young kids who are not breaking those laws, who are trying to finish school, trying to stay out of trouble, are at even more of a disadvantage when they're surrounded by people
Yes.
who are breaking the laws and not facing consequences.
Yeah, 100%. Actually, go ahead, Isaiah. I lost my train of thought. I was going to say something. Go ahead. I'll think of it.
No. Well, I'll get to several of these messages here just real quick. One of our regulars says, "What up, Detroit?" Okay, Detroit. And Island Joe 49 says, "Looks like all Democrat ran states, well, in this case, cities, want chaos." I would agree with that. And we got.
I was going to say
something about that, Isaiah. Cities in California, like San Francisco and LA, in the last few years, they had George Soros funded prosecutors who bought into all the same garbage that Alvin Bragg is buying into. Incarceration and racist criminal justice system, and we have to keep as many people out of jail as possible. They got rid of those prosecutors because evidence becomes really clear before your eyes. Not only is it bad for the everyday working people who live in cities to put up with this and to have open air drug markets like you did in those Californian cities, it's not even kind to the people that you're supposedly helping with these laws. When you have drug addicted, mentally ill people nodding out on the streets, and these are the people that you were supposedly, saving or working for, you're not doing right by anybody.
You most certainly aren't. I
was just what I was going to say before, Isaiah, real quick. It's like another issue with it is like with the stuff you were bringing up before, Maud, is that a lot of these kids, they get used to like, oh, this is allowed. I could carry guns in, I could steal this much money. A lot of these kids probably don't know when the law changes. You know what I mean? So one day the law changes and they're like, well, we could do that, that's fine. And then you get the memo from the legal news, and then they got like 5 to 7 years or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe just don't allow people to do really crazy things in the first place.
You're right. This has been a bad experiment, and I would like it. We need to revert, and we have to do a lot of electing better people if we want to change those laws in Albany.
Why do you think they did some of these non-common sense laws though, with bringing guns into armed robbery, and not it's not a felony anymore? Is that what the issue is?
Well, it is a felony by state law, which is what's so crazy. It's like prosecutors have broad discretion in how they charge things. The cop makes the arrest, that comes into what's called ECAB, Early Case Assessment Bureau, and those district attorneys who intake the cases have a fair amount of discretion. And Bragg has told them, don't charge it as a felony in these cases.
What's the incentive for that? Do you think it's like purely woke critical theory influence, or is there a more malevolent in order to create more chaos, and maybe it comes from on high so people will leave and then people could buy more property or something? Because I sometimes wonder, how could it be so ridiculously illogical and irrational?
I mean, I don't know what's in Alvin Bragg's mind. He is, Harvard was a hotbed of sort of that radical theory that you're talking about,
Yeah.
and he's a product of that, kind of education. He grew up in Harlem. Like, he shouldn't be that tone deaf to the reality
Naive.
of what
Right.
crime looks like in the city.
Sure.
But also, he's funded by George Soros. He was funded by the far left people who had a preference for certain kinds of policies, and they were pushing that.
That's what I'm getting at. Why is Soros care so much about having really loose crime restrictions, and just letting people steal up to $750? That is crazy. Like, imagine if you own a store there and like people just come in all the time, like they do in San Francisco or wherever, and you should get $700 worth of stuff taken by how many people a day? I don't know.
They've done it in New York plenty of times where they've just come in and cleared out shops, like,
very strange.
People. I don't know, but I guess I feel like I've said this before, which is like, I don't know, and respectfully, I don't care. Like, your bad ideas have been imposed on my city. I don't care if you came to them from like idealistic ignorance or malevolence. Either way, your crappy ideas that you're funding, but that you are actually immune to because you're a super rich guy who doesn't have to take the subway or send your kids to school, or your crappy ideas are making my city less safe, less clean, less wonderful, and I want to get rid of them.
Ideas like defund the police too.
Yeah, I don't want those ideas in my city because they don't work. They don't make things better or safer. And so at the end of the day, he can go to a psychiatrist and figure out why he was so committed to those bad ideas. I don't care.
I hear you.
100%. Yes, 100%.
I've never understood, and a lot of I've heard some people say, well, it's what happens when you put defense attorneys in as prosecutors, and I've never bought that. That's actually just seems kind of a little insulting because it's too simplistic. I personally believe that Alvin Bragg, Chesa Boudin, and all these other guys, Larry Krasner, I think Krasner, all these guys who are bought and paid for by George Soros, these people are communists. They're pretty damn
close, if not. Yeah,
they are socialists. I'll say that.
Certainly socialists.
The reason why I say socialist because socialism is the vehicle by which communism is achieved. So these people think that they're going to bring the revolution, or at best, here's the thing. At best, they think that they're doing the poor and downtrodden blacks and Hispanics, the poor colored folks. Mm-hmm. They think they're doing us. They think they're doing us a favor. At worst, they're trying to bring the revolution because they need loyal foot soldiers to violently push forward their agenda. That I'm just saying,
But Isaiah, it's a super good point about there's this like sort of racial what's the word I'm looking for? It's like a patronizing thing because it's like, oh, systemic racism is so bad. Here, let me fix it for you. And then you do this police. Who is the agent? Like, it's young black men who are that sort of the highest incidence of, pre-defund the police and post-defund of getting arrested for gun violence. It is also young black men in a certain, age bracket that are the highest victims of gun violence.
Exactly.
When violence goes up, it's more dead young black men. And you got all these white folks and people who are, critical race theory adherents showing you how virtuous they are and how wonderful they are by defund the police. In this house, we believe. And you believe all those things on your way to the Hamptons, to your summer house, while the people who are absorbing the rising crime levels can't go escape to those places that you're escaping.
Exactly.
They're stuck in high crime areas with less police. So
What's that, Nick?
They're stuck in high crime areas with less police now and less strict laws. So wonder what's going to happen.
Looking back, look, historically, the reason, for folks, there are people who are listening to you that I'm sure already know this, but like the high watermark for like homicide in New York was in the late 90s. At that time, it was the Congressional Black Caucus that was fighting for more police.
Interesting.
Exactly.
Congressional Black
Caucus
wanted to have more police on the streets, and the
As they should.
remarkable achievement of bringing down that crime wave. Of course, there's demographic, there was the crack wars that were happening, and that sociologically crests and dies out to some extent. But I think it was 6,000 police that were brought into New York, based on the Safe City, Safe Streets program, which brought in more police. That was the end of the Dinkin years, the beginning of the Giuliani years, and the great crime reduction that happened with more police and focused policing, of course, saved more Black lives. It saved all lives.
A lot of lives. Yeah, different lives. Yeah.
Lives. But of course, if you look at it, it's more Black lives that were saved because there's more Black lives that were dying. And so I'm just so wholly unimpressed by the stupidity of defund the police and all the sort of like, the police are racist, like we have to, depolice and send in social workers and decarcerate and all this stuff. It's just stupid philosophy that hasn't borne out in real time in real life.
I also want one thing I want to say quickly, Isaiah, is that it goes along with the theme in general of Democrats and woke leftists and stuff being super empathetic for criminals, but having no empathy whatsoever for the actual people who might be their victims or at risk of being the victims of criminals. So there's empathy for one side, and it's usually the ones that are usually doing wrong. So that's great.
I will be honest. It disturbs me the patronization of these people. As a Black man who grew up in Baltimore, a very rough town. Okay, we're talking about a city, 300 murders a year, consistently throughout the 1990s. Okay, a city of only 600,000 people.
Right.
I don't know how they kept finding all the same number of people to keep doing dirt and to keep getting murdered. Unfortunately, this notion that this can be fixed by just simply opening the floodgates and removing penalties for crime, removing all types of policing, putting in social workers to answer violent police calls, to answer mental health emergencies, where a schizophrenic has his entire is holding his entire family hostage because he's seeing a pink elephant outside or something. Not to diminish, that mental health episode, but the fact is, you're not going to save lives by sending a social worker. Okay, you're not going to do that. It makes no sense. It's like these people, because they just believe that their ideology is the best. Their ideology is the only thing that matters, because America is this racist, white supremacist system that must be demolished. It's almost like they give no allowance for the fact that there's a reason why policing works. You get this guy off the streets and out of your neighborhood, he physically cannot commit any more crime in your neighborhood.
Well, recidivism is also something that we don't hear the far left talking about that much. Most New Yorkers don't steal. Most New Yorkers don't commit property crimes. Like, most New Yorkers are law-abiding people. It is actually a fairly small and largely known group of people. Not everybody is known, but the recidivist shoplifters. And I was just in CVS a few days ago, and this guy walked in, and the woman behind the counter came immediately out and told the security guard, follow him, like, they know who's coming in to steal, because these are the people that come back again and again and again.
Christ.
And of course, there were 20 other people in the CVS who had, she wasn't worried about those other 20 people because they were going to pay for their stuff. But there's one guy who comes in and he's not going to pay for his stuff, and he's going to steal a bunch of stuff. So it's like, if we just accepted the fact that there's a certain number of people who, when we lock them up, we make our city safer, because those are the recidivists. And yes, you shouldn't be locked up for life because you stole something out of the grocery store. But if you keep doing it, you should get a longer and longer sentence
Right.
each day, because
Deterrence.
what else can we do?
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know what else we can do. The other thing that we can do is just say, oh, we're going to rewrite our laws to benefit the criminals. So now you go
Yes.
into a Dwayne Reed and you can't buy shampoo or toothpaste because it's locked up, because our stores are literally
Miserable.
physically
Miserable.
structured to deal with the thieves and not the law-abiding people who need the convenience of. And then what happens is the stores make less money, right? Like I used to feel guilty ordering stuff from Amazon that I could get from my store down the street, but now it's like, oh my God, I'm going to have to go and ring the bell and get
And
the
wait.
and
See,
then
hopefully
wait.
somebody comes to help you, and it's just to open up the freaking
Yeah,
plastic box.
right.
It's like, you know what? Let me just order this online and chill.
And if you change your mind and you're like, oh, I only want 2 of these things, it's like and it's like, I know, I'm sorry, I changed my mind. I just need to get one more.
Think of how nutty
good.
our justice system has become. Think of how nutty our society has become. You would rather lock up deodorant and soap and headphones and speakers and all sorts of stuff. You would rather imprison merchandise than imprison criminals.
Yeah, that's it. And it's also,
there it is. You can use that.
I like it. It's not just it's not just imprison the merchandise. It's inconvenience the
Yes.
people purchasing.
Yeah.
Like your customers. It's the people you're driving away, customers.
But but we're talking about people who literally believe that having a normal, crime-free society is privilege.
Right. Totally.
They
And I'll tell
think
you what,
it's privilege.
in addition to the bonkers situation we find where we can't go into a store and buy our products, they've put all those kooky barriers at the subway turnstile. Right now they have these little barriers.
Oh God, I've seen those. Yeah.
And I'm like, you think a 17-year-old boy doesn't know how to jump over that turnstile because you put that dopey little spike thing on top of it?
Like they're pigeons.
Oh my God, I know, exactly.
Exactly.
Exactly. There's
With window guards or whatever.
yeah, like pigeon spikes are now on the subway turnstile.
Pigeon spikes, those stupid ass what are those, the plastic double doors that they have now in Sutphin Boulevard out in Queens. It's like the most ridiculous shit I've ever seen in my life. Matter of fact, I'll tell you where else they have them. They have them at Atlantic Avenue Barclays. One of the gates, like you swipe your Metro card or your Omni thing, and the doors swing out, or you walk up to it and there's like a sensor that will allow you to swing out. And it's like, you guys really don't, whoever designed that stuff really did not understand first, second, and third order effects.
Yeah.
Because somebody's going to figure out where that sensor is. They're going to figure out how to block it. And then once the doors swing in towards you, they're going to let 15 of their boys through that gate and everybody riding again.
Right.
Again, it's like, we're being led straight up. We're being led by the people who are making policy currently in our city and in our state. They are people, I swear to you, were sheltered kids growing up. Sheltered kids with no idea how the real world works. Mm-hmm. I do not understand this.
Yeah, but some of that, yes, Isaiah, but there's also another part of it to me that's just grift, right? Like someone's making money selling the MTA, the people spikes, the pigeon spikes, and there's the people spikes.
Yes,
but you know how many turnstiles we have throughout the city? Someone's making money putting them in.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
You always launder a bit of money too to your friends that way, like just overpay for things, and which is obviously happening.
Everything in our city gets more and more expensive and less
useful,
like citizen friendly, you know. Like it's just not that, it's becoming less and less, and I think that's going to be on steroids if we wind up with a Mayor Mamdani.
Oh yeah.
And
let me just say this, for Manhattan, the combination of Mamdani and Alvin Bragg is a killer. it is so bad for our city because the two of them are cut from the same cloth when it comes to really bad criminal justice ideas. They're both had been vocal fans of defund the police. Of course, when they got a general election staring them down the face, they start to like hem and haw and about defund the police. They weren't mincing words about how strongly they were in favor of defund the police, bail reform.
Also,
and everything.
globalizing the Intifada is also another thing that he's into.
Even with that,
it's disgusting. These people genuinely, I'm gonna be honest with you. These people genuinely want to destroy New York City.
Globalize the Intifada means the bus bombings and the cafe stabbings and the terrorism that came to Israel twice through both Intifadas. That what we should bring it here, globalize it means you want to bring that terrorism here. How could this, even if we had no Jews living in our city, how could this guy be a serious contender for a city when he's like, I want to bring the terrorism that I learned about in my little anti-Jewish, anti-Zionist, TikTok here to this city. I mean, it's just a pro-terrorist statement, globalize the Intifada. And
it's a pro-terrorist candidate and a jihadist candidate, it seems like. And a socialist Marxist candidate. It is unbelievable. And I think it's due to a big part of it's due to the capture of universities and institutions by the far left. It's really, there's a long march through the institutions, and it is extremely dangerous. It's like
long march through the institutions.
I don't even know
and
if
a whole
most
lot of money.
understand how dangerous it is. That you can't just have everybody, especially the elites, especially like the smartest kids in the country and sometimes around the world. They're the ones that are just being indoctrinated in this stuff and earlier and earlier in life. And then they come out as the thought leaders. They come out as the authors, the journalists, the politicians, the lawyers, the judges. That is a extremely dangerous conveyor belt of radical, ideology that is taking our smartest and most privileged and most connected kids and become. That's the future. That's going to be another generation to the point where you can see how things can get. Where there's a lot of Mamdanis out there. There's a lot of socialists out there that we can become almost a socialist country.
I'm going to say yes, but, and here's why.
I want to hear the but so badly. I hope I'm just crazy.
Yeah, no, you're not crazy at all. And everything you said made a lot of sense. But and I'm going to, after this, you tell me, because I got to go at 9:30. But
I got you.
Yes, I agree with everything you just said. But I will say that the way we said earlier, where I said, like, I wanted to sort of see the upside and the bright side of things. I do think the upside of the sort of whole intersectional leftist takeover of our universities is I have 4 kids, right? And my 3 eldest are teenagers now. And so they went through like K through 12 education and stuff in some sort of peak woke years. They got the COVID lockdowns hard. They got some of the, like, you can't say a word out of place, or, if you misgender somebody, it's like a horrible, terrible crime sort of thing.
No man spreading either.
Acknowledgements and blah, 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 all that crap, right? And I think there's a generation of kids in this country right now who see through some of that, and who are, at least generationally, it's like when they've had that shoved down their throat by their annoying teachers for a certain amount of time, and then the access to go online and see people who are offering cogent critiques of that stuff that makes sense to them. There are some kids, you're right, that are still being sucked into it and still becoming true believers in sort of a, Marxist identitarian sort of grievance structure. But I also think there are kids who are like, actually, I think America's pretty great. And I think that, that people who serve our country should be honored and respected, not, disrespected. And I think that there is, I'm buoyed sometimes by the conservatism that I see among young people and the sort of patriotism I see among young people. And so I do think the sort of the degree to which all of this hardcore leftist stuff has been entrenched and sort of into our institutions. And like, you can't walk, that picture that Isaiah put up of the Patagonia, you can't walk by a Presbyterian church in Manhattan that doesn't have that damn trans pride flag up and stuff. And when kids get it like shoved down their throat, at a certain point, they rebel, as kids do, as generations do. And I think there's brewing, and already we can see it in the works, and some more in the red states than the blue states, but it spreads, like a genuine pushback and rebellion and couple that with the stuff that the current administration is doing in terms of colleges and funding and trying to really, I think, do some interesting stuff to make sure that colleges aren't, really breaking the law when it comes to First Amendment issues and Title VII issues and all sorts of different issues. But like, in addition to that, I think there's some generational waking up and pushing back that I find positive and good.
Well, there's one thing
I
I'll
agree.
add to that. There's one thing I'll add to that, like, and it's something that my now wife, Kareen, my wife has said this before, regarding how children are, and these younger generations are waking up and speaking out against this stuff. It was bound to happen, because you see all of these adults who they spend all this time with in schools and in university or whatever, and they're out here going crazy for this stuff, acting like they're fighting for children. It's their entire identity. And what do these kids see? Kids are naturally anti-establishment.
Yes.
They're naturally anti-establishment. So when you establish this rainbow dog shit as the establishment, guess what the kids are gonna fight against? It's a normal, natural thing. They've spent so much time pushing this garbage onto children that these people don't understand second and third order effects. You can do this as an FU to your parents, or an FU to Trump, which a lot of people do, because again, we're living in a time where so many people's entire existence and identities are based on their hatred of Donald Trump or hatred of a political party.
Yeah.
Okay. So when these kids, so again, when you have established this as the establishment, I hate to be repetitive there, but when you've made that your establishment and these kids are saturated in this garbage every day, it's a natural reaction. It's a natural reaction. Go ahead, dear.
Isaiah, there's still kids also want a sense of belonging. They want to feel like they're part of a righteous crusade. Like there is still, like we can see in New York, like that leftist dogma also has an appeal to folks young people and old people. Like it does these people who feel really,
a lot of females, I think, too. That's the thing. There's a big divide, I think, politically, where like a lot of women still, not all of them, obviously, but a lot of women still like this whole far left woke stuff, and they really truly believe this is the right way to go, and everybody else are crazy fascists and they're just hateful bigots and all that, right? Anybody that disagrees, and I think from the men, I think it's because of the media that people are absorbing, right? Like the men, a lot of boys and men are listening to Joe Rogan's of the world, who are highly critical, and that whole comedy podcast, but even some of them are going a little further with the manosphere type stuff, or the bad manosphere part, like Andrew Tate's of the world.
There's a huge gender divide.
That's another way of dividing the countries, by dividing the sexes. We've been seeing that for the last several decades.
There's a huge gender divide that's not good and that's not healthy necessarily, but I am happy. I'm a mom of 3 boys and 1 daughter. I am happy that boys are figuring out that there's some alternative, or there's some good reason to reject the sort of leftist.
Yes, me too. And thank God for free speech too, because otherwise we wouldn't even be able to talk about it.
100%.
Absolutely. Maud, where can it's really been a pleasure to have.
Thank God and thank you, Maud Maron, actually, for standing up for that.
We are really, really grateful for you here. Where can people donate to your campaign? Where can people learn more about you? Let us, please let the people know. Let the people know.
First of all, thank you for asking donation. That's so nice of you to ask up front there. Like every politician's website, my website, maud4manhattan.com, has big donate buttons all over, and I appreciate any and everything that folks can give.
Is it 4? Is it the number 4 or
4? FOR.
Okay. FOR.
And Maud has no E. So Maud for Manhattan. maudmaron.com. And then, I am not one of those people who likes to hide behind an avatar or a made up name. So you can find me on X, on Facebook, on Instagram under Maud Maron, Maud Maron NYC on Instagram. But
Yes.
if you Google my name, you will find me. I mostly hang out on X. I don't really spend a lot of time on my other social media platforms, but you can reach out any which way you're most comfortable doing it. And I love to hear from folks. And, folks can sign up on the maudformanhattan.com. We're starting to do some volunteer meetups actually this week. And so if you sign up for the emails, you'll get the information. We'd be super happy to hear from you.
That is awesome stuff. That is awesome stuff. And I'll put it right here. At Maud Maron is where you can follow this firebrand of a lady who I am so thankful to call you my friend, and one of the nicest and most genuine human beings I have ever met in my entire life. Maud, thank you for joining us tonight.
Isaiah,
greatly appreciate it.
Feeling is 100% mutual. And Nick, it was a pleasure to meet you today.
I want to be your friend too, Maud. Can I be your friend too?
Friendship, Nick.
This is a part of an awesome friend connection over here.
Oh my God!
You're going to be going against Alvin Bragg, right? I just want to make sure that's your going.
Yes.
I just want everybody to remember. Just think about it, New Yorkers. How much better would New York be with Maud Maron rather than Alvin Bragg?
Absolutely. November 4th.
Really think about that.
November 4th. Listen. Last thing with you, Maud. Guys, look at the title of the stream tonight. Tonight's show is called Fighting Crime in New York City for Real this time.
There we go. I like that.
Okay. And this is who we're fighting crime with. Okay. November 4th. Make sure you pull your lever. Manhattanites from Inwood to Battery Park. This is an easy decision. If you want your merchandise set free and your criminals locked away, vote for Maud Maron. I love you, dear. Thank you so much for having us.
Thanks
for coming on.
Well, that was great.
Yes, it was.
I love that. That was a really lively conversation. People bouncing ideas quickly with each other. I think that flowed really well, man. And Maud's really impressive. That's the type of person I love, is somebody who fights for the First Amendment, and free speech and woke totalitarianism. Like that's like my favorite people on earth, honestly.
Yeah, she's gonna
a small group of people too. Yeah,
she is going to fight hard for Manhattan. I've known Maud for several years, and that lady is a fierce advocate for the truth. Fierce advocate for actual justice, and I really, really, really hope that people make the right decision tonight. It looks like, well, just real quick, Action Tunes. I want to give them a shout out. My guys, what's up?
Oh, what's up? What's up, Action Tunes? Check out their animation, man. That's my boy.
Yes, absolutely.
Video game, got a video game out too, I think too. Boy,
yeah.
Good.
This is Apostate Radio, episode 23. Once again, Isaiah Carter. That is Nostra Chavez, the Sword and the Sage tonight, and it's going to be us for a little bit more, for a little bit longer. Chris Olin says, I've been stuck in Twitter jail for telling an internet anon to, quote, do humanity a favor and walk into a busy intersection after he suggested that a father of 5 should unalive himself. Are you fucking kidding me?
Well, how come he got away with that? How come the guy telling somebody else to kill himself or whatever, and then you get. I love how these things are applied. Is it because he got reported?
The entire world's upside down. The entire. I'm dead serious. The entire world is upside down. I feel like this, right? The craziest thing that someone can do these days, and people have said this before. But the craziest thing that someone can do these days is actually be normal. Get married, have some kids. But obviously the first step to any of that is, guys, go talk to a fucking woman.
Yeah.
Go to a bar, go hang out with your friends, go do something social.
Learn how to be a gentleman too. Be a gentleman, be confident, be charming,
Open the door for a woman. You know what I'm saying? Like,
does wonders for you. Yeah.
right. Like, do something that, again, chivalry cannot die. Chivalry cannot die. It just can't.
Yeah.
You don't have to do that, right? Yeah. Again, like I feel like these days there is a genuine desire for people to get back to doing things the traditional way.
The way it's been done, and more or less for hundreds, thousands of years. Hasn't changed. Certain things haven't changed that much. Like courtship hasn't changed that much. I mean, unless it's an arranged marriage or something like that. Like, just talking to girls, to women talking to men, like what women like, what men like. That hasn't changed too much. I don't feel like in probably maybe thousands of years, man, at least.
Yeah, man. Real quick, Jordan Bolds. My guy says, Brother Isaiah, Brother Nostra, great to see you on my TV this Sunday night.
You too, Jordan. Thank you,
Great to see you too, brother. You got to come back up at least. Whenever you get a chance. I know that. Listen, we are all living very, very busy lives these days. Getting married and shit. Like all avoiding your new daughter's assault attempts. Bro,
she hasn't been going for my eyes anymore. I think she realized that was like not a good thing because she didn't see me for like a whole day after that.
Dude, your daughter, your daughter's gonna be like doing capoeira.
Yeah, but it did teach. It did. Yeah, I probably will try to get her to do some jujitsu. Because that's a really good defense, self-defense for women. But she's that taught me something though. Her clawing my eye out there. That's actually the best thing you should do. Like, I'm gonna tell her that her whole life. I'm gonna be like, yo, if a guy ever tries to grab you, do something, you just scratch his eyes out. I don't think he's gonna be able to do too much after that. Like, it's so painful. But anyways, yeah, she's we're all like you said, we're all busy, man. We're living life, and it's a good busy. It's a good it's progress. Real progress. Not cutting your balls off and sterilizing your kids' progress.
Yeah. So we do have some other stuff to get to tonight. Today, President Trump established himself fully as the soccer president.
As if I couldn't love him anymore.
Oh wait, that's the wrong one. Sorry about that. From End Wokeness, Trump photobombed the FIFA trophy lift. Yes, he did.
With Chelsea?
With Chelsea,
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Oh man, that's cool.
Yeah. And you know something, bro? You know something? I firmly believe
he's the man for that.
First off, he is the man for that. And I'm gonna tell you something else, right? I think it's absolutely wonderful that we've got a president in office. Again, love him, hate him, whatever. For those of us who love this sport, I think it's fantastic that we've got an advocate in the sport for the sport in the president of the United States.
Oh yeah,
I do. I think 100%. It is absolutely amazing for a couple of reasons. One, soccer is a beautiful game, and it is a game that does connect other countries with the rest of the world.
It's the biggest sport in the world, no doubt about it.
It is quite literally the biggest sport in the world.
It's a sport of humanity. I mean, if there's to be one sport besides maybe fighting, combat sports, because that's an old sport, and it's pretty popular now as well. But soccer, is the most popular sport. So that's one thing that all humans on Earth almost understand is soccer in one way or another. Who hasn't kicked the ball around? Even the natives used to kick around skulls and shit, I think, back in the day. So
skulls. Dead ducks. I mean, it doesn't fucking matter. One way or another, something round was going into a big ass net at the end of 120 yard field. Okay?
You don't have to speak the same language, man. To have a grand old time with your fellow humans.
Exactly. Of course, if you don't already know, Chelsea absolutely annihilated Paris Saint-Germain.
That's a surprise, right? Because PSG is the champs now, right? The UEFA champs,
I believe so.
right? Yeah, that already happened. Yeah, I think they
I
just
mean,
beat.
they're the biggest. I mean, they're the. Hold on.
They
Let me
beat
see.
Inter. Did they beat Inter? Is that who they beat? Who they beat?
I believe they did. Hold on.
Champions League final. I'll look it up. I missed it. I think I was busy doing something. Maybe I was hanging out with you. I don't know. Maybe that's why we both didn't see it.
I mean, I was doing wedding shit like all weekend. So I think, I think PSG won
it was
last
Milan.
year.
It was Inter Milan. No, they won this year.
Oh, they won this year.
Yeah, they won the Champions League final.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
So
I think
the
Real Madrid.
champions.
The World Cup probably was Real Madrid again. I think last year.
Oh, okay.
Probably.
Well,
We won the Champions League
PSG.
last year. Yeah.
PSG destroyed Real Madrid in the semis.
Oh yeah, was it 4-0?
I think it was. I think it was 4-0. I think it was.
Game. Yeah, I missed that game. But I'm happy I did now because I had something else to do anyways, and I'm a Real Madrid supporter. But I don't want to watch my team get their ass kicked 4-0 by Paris.
Yo, all from what I saw, but I didn't see much of it because I was busy yesterday. Well, I was busy when that game happened, but I saw images from that match. Kylian Mbappe looked sick.
Yeah, man.
He was not happy at all in that game.
Yeah. Was he sick? You mean sick? Like actually sick?
No, like pissed.
Oh,
he looked pissed. Like I mean, but then again, I mean, that was his team. Remember, PSG brought in him. Well, no, he was already there, but they brought in Messi and they brought in Neymar Jr.
And they never won the title. Yeah,
and they didn't, and they didn't win shit. It was like this was a team that was built to win Champions League, and I don't think they did it.
Yeah, no, they never did. They never did with Kylian. I think he went to a final though, but Real Madrid's been courting him for a couple seasons. And the story was always like, oh, as soon as he comes to Real Madrid, like because Madrid's just winning so many titles, Champions League titles, that it's going to be, he'll finally win his championship, his Champions League title. And of course, as it goes with the soccer gods, as soon as he leaves, they finally win it, and Real Madrid, didn't win it. So, but give him time. Real Madrid will win one with him, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Real
quick, just to kind of follow up on something Maud was talking about earlier, from Greg Price. This is a post of his from May 31st of last year. He says, quote, "Never forget that Alvin Bragg lowered 60% of all felonies to misdemeanors in his jurisdiction last year." Jesus. Let that sink in. 60% of all people arrested for felonies got their charges lowered by Fat Alvin.
What a son of a bitch, man.
But for Donald Trump, he elevated a misdemeanor to a felony by claiming he committed a second crime that doesn't exist. If you stabbed somebody on the street in Manhattan, you were more likely to get off with a misdemeanor from Alvin Bragg than Donald Trump. On its own, and here's a paragraph from the Daily Mail article that he image grabbed. He said, it says, on its own, falsifying those documents would be misdemeanors, relatively minor crimes. Bragg elevated each of the charges to felonies by arguing that they were committed to hide or further another crime, which in an unusual move, he did not charge. He said he wasn't required to specify that crime, but added that it might have been a violation. The key operative words there, might have been a violation of state or federal election law. What may further complicate the case, and what did further complicate the case, is that it relies heavily on testimony from Cohen, a disbarred lawyer who served prison time after pleading guilty to violating campaign finance laws, evading taxes, making false statements to a bank, and lying to Congress. And keep in mind, those were like that guy Cohen was who the Democrats were putting to the people as the upright citizen. because and for no other reason at all except fuck Trump. You stand against Trump, so therefore all of your sins are forgiven. You stand against the great Satan, so therefore we're going to do everything we can to elevate your voice. We're going to do everything to make sure you get away with all of your crimes. If we have to fudge the numbers, if we do whatever, you will survive. We will take care of you as long as you stand against Trump. And
what a
fails.
useless person, man. What a useless DA he is, Alvin Bragg. I mean, worse than useless. He's harmful, extremely harmful to New York City, man.
He
Clearly.
absolutely is.
I mean, clearly.
He absolutely is.
I mean,
and I've
like, I just think about this. Like, 60% of felonies he reduced to misdemeanors. Is that what they said? Is that right?
60%.
So, I mean, how many hundreds or thousands of people at least in a city of 9 million, in a 20 million metro area? How many people is that? Like that are back on the streets after, sometimes probably doing some violent crimes or doing some really severe other crimes, property crimes, something like that are back on the street to go do it again. That's just putting more people at risk constantly. As is the recidivism and all the stuff that Maron was talking about. It's like you are just increasing the risk that other people are going to get killed by people who lack impulse control, who are more likely to commit crimes, who are sometimes just bad people, crazy people, whatever it is. You're just giving them more chances to be menaces to society. How is this what a DA is supposed to do? Doesn't make any sense to me.
Who knows?
I will say
this. I have never like I said, we're in the upside down.
Yeah.
We're in the upside down. It's like people don't know. We've gotten so used to. I'll never forget something that our dear friend Josh Slocum of the Disaffected podcast, which is on right now.
Shout out to Josh.
Episode's on right now. Shout out to Josh Slocum, of course, friend of our show, friend of ours. One of the things that he said like years ago that got me hooked on to his show initially was that he said, folks, you are in an abusive relationship with your government. You're in an abusive relationship with your government. And again, this is a guy, Josh is a guy who was a leftist. He's like us. He was a liberal or a leftist or whatever.
He's woke. He said he was woke.
He was woke.
I was never woke, but he said he was woke as many other people.
Yeah, I wasn't quite that, but but we were all
on the left, sure.
On the left.
Yep.
Okay. And when he said that we were in an abusive relationship with our government, that did not become plain to people until COVID and the years that followed.
Right.
Because that's what happened. It was like people thought, well, if we get Trump out of office in 2020, we're going to get they got everybody hooked on trying to find normal, trying to get normal back, because COVID had driven people insane. COVID has driven people insane, my brother. There are people these days, 5 years after COVID, still wearing masks, still double masking, still wearing rubber gloves at work.
Oh my God.
Completely lost. And what happened was those were the people who fell into the trap of craving normalcy. Craving normal. And what happened? We vote for Biden. Biden gets elected, and the second that the oath of office was taken, it was like, well, we're going to give you normal, but we're going to give you normal the way we describe it. They were going to keep the pandemic going. They were going to keep it going.
That's right. They were. You're right. I forgot about that.
They were going to keep going. It was
well after the vaccines too. I feel like well after the vaccines, they were still like, trying to push it like at least like 6-7 months later, at least. I think.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, yo, we got the vaccines. Everybody got the fucking vaccine pretty much. Shut up. Nobody's dying from this anymore. Just let the people who are high risk, let them hide out, let them take the vaccine, whatever they need to do, because they're high risk, and let everybody else live their lives. People need to live their lives. People need to go back to work. People need to see people. We're an ultra social species.
Yeah.
Like that's just that's a huge part of human nature. Like clearly.
They were robbing people of what it means to be human.
Kids, children they need to go to school. They're stuck at home. Like that delayed kids for like at least a year.
Yes,
it
did.
It delayed them emotionally and developmentally, I'm sure, in a lot of ways.
Chris Olin says it's almost always boomers from what I've seen, even masking in their cars. Yeah. I mean, but it's not, but I will tell you, it ain't just boomers. It ain't
I'll be right back.
boomers.
I'm going to use the bathroom. So you start ranting. I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah. It wasn't just boomers. It wasn't just boomers. We're talking about people who I'm 43 years old. Okay. There is a lady who I work with. Okay. I'm not naming names. This young lady has to be maybe a couple of years younger than me. Okay. I have not seen this poor woman's face in 5 years. Okay. 5 years. I do not understand why she's still wearing a mask at this time. Give me 1 second now. This is the first time. I think this is the first time this has ever happened. Okay, and I'm back. And I'm nope. Did not get swatted. I actually,
I'm back too, man.
Let's just say live streaming was not kind to me. No, I was no swattings took place. Thank God there was none of that. No, we just had I had to take a potty break too. Okay, it happened at the same exact time.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say is this woman who I work with can't be older than I am. Still wearing masks, double mask, wearing latex gloves at work. I'm like, why? Pandemic been over. It's like these lost causers, right? Like truly believing that COVID is still going on. Yesterday, okay, well, not yesterday, Friday, as we were getting like during our civil ceremony, right? The clerk who was working with us, I swear to God, this lady had been working for the court system for like longer than I've been alive. The city clerk, the podium behind which he stood or sat still like had the plexiglass over it. COVID to her, and she actually said, she told someone, I think it might have been my mother-in-law. She goes, "Oh well, don't stand too close. COVID is still alive." You've been around since before, like you've been around since the Black Plague. Your old ass been around since the Black Plague, and you worried about some fucking COVID?
Yeah.
Like, yo,
Oh,
and listen, all respect to the lady. She was a very sweet individual. Okay. I get it. But again, this is just proof of what I was talking about, how the fear of COVID, the abuse by our government has rendered people insane. And I know some people might not like when I say this, right? You know, they'll say, well, you're taking away people's autonomy when I say that. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. These people were abused. They were scared. They had the shit scared out of them by their government. They believed they believed the Jacinda Arderns of the world when they said, "We shall be your only source of truth. I'm from the government and I'm here to help." They said this shit, and then it was 2 weeks to stop the spread. Oh, but then it'll be another 2 weeks to stop. Then it'll be another 2 weeks, and it kept going and going and going. And then when the Biden administration, when Biden got elected, they were going to keep it going. They were never going to stop. They were gonna keep this going. And I don't know if people realize this, but we were in for if Kamala Harris had gotten elected, this was going to continue.
Yep.
This was going to continue,
as well as social media clampdowns on free speech. We probably I don't know if we'd be online right now.
We probably wouldn't.
Probably wouldn't be on Twitter.
We probably wouldn't.
No, honestly, yeah, our Twitters would probably be suspended by now.
We'd have been got thrown out of here.
Yeah, with the
we'd have been got thrown out of here. Jordan Bold says, remember de Blasio offered Shake Shack for New Yorkers who got the jab? Yeah, I remember that motherfucker. And I also remember, and check this out. Speaking of de Blasio or Walter Wilhelm, whatever the fuck his real name is, this guy is trying to weasel his way into into a potential Mamdani administration.
De Blasio? What the hell's he good
for? Dude, who fucking knows?
What the hell's he good for?
Oh, he's gonna steal because he wants to steal more money.
Yeah.
He stole all those. Remember when Sleewood told us, like, he stole
he's got like
$1 billion.
He's got $1 billion. I guess he's useful for that if you need some money.
Like, who the fuck? Like where did that money go?
Thrive,
Where'd that money go, de Blasio? Yeah, the Thrive NYC thing. Yeah, it's not his real name. De Blasio, that's not his real name. It's
How
like
Walter. Have a fake last name?
Like,
how you gonna have a fake last name? Whose name is de Blasio? Is that like his mom's name? Whose name is that? I hope that's his mom's name, at least. I hope he didn't just take
hold on a second.
Name. I hope he didn't just pull like an Italian name out of the hat.
Hold on, I'll tell you right now. No, it's not Walter Wilhelm. Hold on. I'm gonna tell you exactly what his real name is, because now I'm looking it up.
That big bird looking stupid
Bill de Blasio.
Useless son of a bitch, Bill de Blasio.
This guy, hold on. What's his real name? Warren Wilhelm Jr.
Where's the de Blasio come from?
I don't know. Warren Wilhelm Jr. Like, why would you, it's kind of like, Jordan says that his mom, I think it might have been. My thing also went by Warren de Blasio Wilhelm. What the fuck? Oh, it's his mom's maiden name.
Is his mom's maiden name?
Why would he? Does he have like daddy issues or some shit?
I think he just wanted to sound Italian, man. I think that's basically what he did, man.
Oh my god!
You know he would do that.
Yeah, but that guy, that guy wants to get. I'm gonna look for it in a second, but before that, I want to talk about something that you had told me about. You showed me this. Earlier. Hold on, I was like, okay, we'll get to you, babe. We'll get to you. We'll get to you, ladies. We'll get to you. Hold on 1 second, because I want, like, we talked about this earlier. This right here, more child
Oh
indoctrination,
yeah. Yeah.
sexualization that Democrats claim isn't going on. Let me play this for the
Yeah, let's
people.
play this. Yeah, play it real quick.
Yeah,
This is,
let's
these
play
are
this
two
for the
lesbians.
people.
These are two lesbians who are like appalled by it. Honestly, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, here we go.
Okay, we're gay, but we're in Barnes & Nobles.
Hold it. I'm going to just say this. I'm going to say this real quick about her right there. She ain't all the way gay.
Yeah.
She ain't all the way. Mm-mm.
I concur. I concur, brother.
I could tell just by the fucking voice. Oh, no.
Yep.
Nah. Mm-mm.
Yep.
Here we go.
And there's a kids book section, a gay kids book section, and this shit is crazy. Look at this. Okay, there's the gay BCs, right?
Gay BCs.
Bye binary.
Okay.
Binary
For babies. For babies. For babies.
Yeah.
The gay BCs. Why would why would you learn about being gay and then be your and be also learn about like homosexuality? Like, I mean, why would you have to learn about your ABCs at the same time you're learning about homosexuality, or vice versa? I should say. Like, how could that be the order of operations with shit?
Because that's
not crazy.
Because everything, all
maybe the ABCs
that
first.
exists, all that exists deserves to perish. All that exists deserves to perish. That is the timing that these people are on. And I really want people to think about this. Let me flip back to us real quick. The reason why you see all of this stuff, all of this gay shit, all of this trans foolishness, all of this nonsense that makes absolutely no that is inconceivable, that was inconceivable 10 years ago. The reason why you're seeing this now is because to those of critical consciousness, to those who are queer theory practitioners, the destruction of all that is normal is the only thing that matters. Heteronormativity is the word that these people love to throw around. Okay? And it is their responsibility. It is their solemn, righteous duty to get rid of everything considered heteronormative. What they want to do, ladies and gentlemen, is they want to make this your normal. They want to normalize that which is not normal. Do you really think it's normal for a baby to have a fucking mohawk? To talk about binary. Now, mind you, these books all have the same exact messages. You were assigned a gender at birth. You don't have to be male. You don't have to be female. You don't even have to be human. You can identify as a cat. And then they'll lock your fucking ass up for hate speech if you say otherwise. But let's continue.
Gay BCs, you're not ready. You hold us. Okay.
Here we go.
What? A is for arrow and ace. B is for bi. This is
again. Why do children need to learn this shit? Why?
It's crazy. We're gay, but this is crazy. What? For a baby?
Drag?
Okay, E is for equality. We'll take that. F is for family. Okay, we're getting better. Okay, why did it start so crazy? Just for hope. It got better.
Intersex.
Intersex. It's pushing it. For a baby, this is pushing
Intersex.
J is for joy. J is for joy. We'll take
Extremely rare
Leo.
biology,
Nice.
biological birth
this one.
defects.
K is for Kiki.
Tell us Kiki.
What?
Is Kiki a thing? What's Kiki?
Oh wait. I guess there's no gay word for M.
Oh my god. Ugh. Again. Why? Why?
So many things you need to learn about at an age of a baby or a toddler, and we're gonna start introducing binary gender binaries or non-binaries, gayness.
But peep game for a second, Nick. Remember, everything is a generative theme to these people. This is how they operate. The alphabet, the building block of language itself, for the English language, or any language for that matter, and you have to suffuse it with queer theory. You have to suffuse it with LGBTQIAP propaganda. Why?
It's indoctrination.
Whatever happened to just learning about the letters, how they're pronounced, how they sound? English is a hard enough language as it is. Why in God's name are you making it such that you completely derail the conversation? You derail the lesson about language to launch into political invective. That's my beef with all of this. It's brainwashing.
Earlier you start, man. Earlier you start.
And right then and there, that's how these teachers, yes, I full disclosure, Kareen is a teacher. Okay. My wife is a teacher. And I will stand up for good teachers. My wife being one. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But let's be honest. In some of these schools, particularly in these more affluent schools, right? These affluent, whiter schools.
Ask our boy Paul Rossi about this, by the way.
Paul Rossi, what's his name? Frank
McCormick.
Frank McCormick. Shout to Frank. We're gonna get you on the show again soon, partner. We gotta hit me up in the DMs, partner.
James Lindsay, Chris Rufo, they got
James
some info
Lindsay, Chris Rufo, all of these, like all of our like people we know, people we don't know, they have documented the deviancy. It's like Jordan Bowles just said deviancy is their God. Well, their God is the state. Deviancy is just a vector by which worship of the state can be adhered to. That's what this is. You know what I'm saying? Like this is what we're dealing with. And again, I mean, shout to these two women for being horrified at what they're seeing. I mean, it is disgusting. I do want to talk about something else that come up, because again, our apologies for we're kind of flying by the seat of our pants tonight.
Kind of winging it tonight.
We're winging it tonight. There's been
if anybody's got any topics they want us to talk about too, just throw them out there, by the way.
Exactly. Please.
ML
Webb. Hold on a second. ML Webb? Is this the guy who wrote that book, Chris?
I think that sounds familiar. Graphic designer.
ML Webb. Hold on, let me look it up. ML Webb is an author, illustrator, and graphic designer.
He's in New York.
Who spends his free time getting lost in Central Park.
Oh, that's not good.
He was born and raised in McMinnville, Tennessee, and now lives in New York City. And he says, yes, it is the guy who wrote that the gay
predator alert. Everybody in Central Park. This guy's roaming around.
The fact that he says
trying to gay your kids, trans your kids.
Bro, hold on a second. That's an admission of his own deviancy. He spends his free time getting lost in Central Park. I'll bet you he's the guy.
Creepy.
I'll bet you that's the fucking guy who's taking shits in that park in the pool that just opened in Central Park. I bet it's him. The fucking animal. I bet you it's him.
Oh,
I'm gonna get into that in a little bit.
Leaving floaters in the pool there.
Bro, you got show enough animals out here, man.
Jesus.
Like taking shits in public pools, and they're adults doing this.
Can't do it, man.
It's adults. Like,
Not gonna be able to do it.
We were talking about this earlier. It's like the fact that these are adults doing it. I actually wanted to go to that pool in Central Park. I wanted to like check it out just to see where it was. and now I'm just like, bruh, I don't know, man.
I didn't hear about this. Is a thing going on?
Actually, you know what? Let me pull it up.
Somebody dropping deuces in the pool?
Oh yeah. Hold on.
I don't condone that.
Because there's something else that happened. Central.
Let me be on the record to say I don't condone that, America and the world, whoever else is listening.
Hold on. So wait a minute. Top.
Nosa Chavez does not condone dropping floaters in the public pool.
Absolutely not.
Nor do I condone indoctrination of babies in trans and non-binary
Hell no.
But maybe I'm just weird in that way. I don't know.
The weirdest thing these days is to actually be a normal fucking citizen.
That's right.
That's the weirdest thing today. This new Central Park pool looks so nice. I mean, it does. I've seen pictures of it.
Till you is it Central Park?
Yeah, it's Central Park. Where exactly in Central Park? I don't know.
Did they catch somebody doing it, or they just found some floaters in there?
I think they caught somebody doing it. I don't know.
Because I'll say this: there is raccoons be leaving some human doo-doo, like human looking doo-doo in the pool. I saw it in Costa Rica, and we had our own personal pool at this hotel we were staying at.
Oh, there's some other stuff going on.
Raccoons drop some big deuces.
Yeah, so I hear. Wait a minute, looks like this. Hold on, there's some other shit that's going on with this pool. Hold on a second. This guy, Financial Dystopia. Oh no, the cozy. I don't know who's reporting this, but here we go.
For some reason, New York City thought it would be a good idea to open up their first public pool in the middle of Central Park, but it's a complete disaster. First off, the pool is enormous and fits up to 1,400 people, but the problem is they are literally allowing anyone inside. It's completely free, there is no age limit, so almost instantly, all of the homeless people in New York City decided to
that's nasty.
Not to mention, almost any time of the day, there is a 3-hour wait just to get into the pool area. And as if things could not get any worse, apparently a bunch of fights have been breaking out at the pool, and as a result, people are being escorted out in handcuffs. For some reason, New York City.
Ratchet.
God damn. So now it just got ratchet.
And man, people are just peeing in there too.
Fuck.
Having homeless people bathe in there, that's gross, man. Because homeless people smell terrible. I'm not gonna lie. Like half the time.
Oh, they do.
They really do.
They so do.
I can't be sharing a body of water with them. Sorry. Has to be like the ocean, maybe.
Oh my God.
Maybe that makes me a bad person.
Fact, this is the video. This is the viral video that got me started. American Ianon Patriots. He says illegal immigrants are already pooping, and now we don't know if it's illegal immigrants, but he's saying illegal immigrants are already pooping in Central Park's pool that opened up 2 weeks ago. Let's check. This guy chimped the fuck out. Hold on, here we go.
They are pooping in the Central Park pool. They are pooping in the Central Park pool. And from what I have seen, these are great big poops. These are not poop from a child. Grown adults are doing huge poops in the pool, which is making it close regularly. When this thing began, I told people it's a bad idea. A free pool in Central Park. This pool will be 10% urine. That's what I told people. But I didn't imagine that these animals would be pooping in the pool on a regular basis. Adults, do you poop and leave? Do you poop and stay? There's poop on your leg. What? This is why we can't have nice things. This is why we can't have nice things. This is why we can't have nice things. These people could vote. and they can't even handle not pooping in the pool.
All right, I think I'm glad the Red Hulk has a TikTok now, man.
Holy fuck.
Dude, red as fuck, man. He looks like a lobster.
Dude, I mean, bro, can you blame him? I'd be red as shit too. If I went to, dude, they're treating. Listen. It's one thing. The idea of a swimming pool in Central Park is a great thing. These public pools, I went to Metropolitan pool several years ago. In my old neighborhood in Brooklyn was Betsy Head Park. Betsy Head has a really nice pool. My issue with these pools is with that Central Park one, and apparently this is a problem that's citywide with these public swimming pools. But my thing is, listen, this is the United States of America. Stop treating the Central Park pool like it's the fucking Ganges River. Please. Please. Like, is it that fucking hard? There's bathrooms. The locker rooms have bathrooms in them. Now I'm starting to sound like that fucking guy. You've got the locker rooms have toilets. Are you that lazy and uncivilized? Are you that much of a filth monster that you can't like get up out of the pool and go walk to the back and take your shit and come back?
Go and pinch your loaf in the public bathroom in the toilet like a human being.
Why is this happening?
Like a fucking human being.
Why is this happening?
Drop the kids off at the pool in the toilet, not the actual pool.
And what's crazy is like some of the shots of this thing, like this guy here. This guy here has it. Like, this is a great overhead shot. It's a beautiful shot of the pool.
That is nice.
Like, it looks honestly, it looks like it's on the upper. If I had to, like, judging from that picture, I'd say that the park is somewhere closer to the west, like to the northwest side, like closer to like the upper west side, like Morningside Heights, right on the cusp, like close to the cusp of Harlem. At least that's where it looks like from the judging from the picture. But guys, please, for the love of God, please don't take a shit in public pools. Please. That was really
you guys are showing your whole ass out there. Stop doing that.
Oh my God, the dad jokes. The dad jokes. Oh my God.
Stop winking your brown eye at everybody, man. Go to the bathroom.
Oh my God. Chris Olin said, before we get to that, he said, imported the third world and expected them to adopt first world decency. That's how this happened. You know, I'm going to look into this more. Okay. But it's good. But it is legit disturbing.
I think it was Zoran Mamdani who was taking shits in there, man. Personally. just like he eats rice with his hands. He likes to pretend like it's a Ganges river and drops deuces in the river.
Oh my God. That would be him, wouldn't it? That would be him, wouldn't it? Yeah, yeah. You eat rice with your hands for breakfast. Then you have a massive burrito for lunch on the fucking Q train, and then right after a long hard day of campaigning, you go to the Central Park pool and you just all over the place.
And then Mamdani's sitting there with a shit-eating grin while he's taking a shit in the pool.
Oh my goodness gracious. That same, you know, like cock to the, you know, the same cock to the side, a grin of his. Who's like, yeah,
shitty grin.
I'm a communist. You know. Anyways, so apparently, Olin says the official Elmo account got hacked and channeled Grok's Mecha Hitler energy.
Mecha Hitler. What is this Mecha Hitler? I saw that trending the other day. What is that?
Apparently,
somebody tell me what that is.
Grok went crazy. Grok went crazy about something. Hold on, let me just see. Elmo hack. I want to see this. Yeah. Oh God. So Brian Krasenstein. Yeah. Hold on. Let me just make sure. Brian Krasenstein was a piece of shit, by the way. Says he got hacked. He showed this image. The official Elmo account really just posted this. Likely. Oh my God! What is this? Hacking the official Elmo account is one of the most diabolical things. Giving away from some Saul and what the muting Elmo because this is hacked. Fuck, daughter, nigga. What the fuck? What?
Wait, what's this? What's this? All caps here. All Jews. I'm not gonna say the rest.
Oh
of that.
my God! Oh my God! Yeah. Gross found the guy who hacked his.
I think that's Mamdani's intern right there.
Yo, not Grover. Not Grover. No.
Grover's trying to globalize the Intifada. Groverlize the Intifada.
Yo, I can't, bro. I can't do this. Oh God, not Grover, bro. Oh no.
They're getting all our youth. They're getting all our Jim Henson Muppets.
Oh no. Oh,
radicalizing.
I'm stealing this. I'm stealing this fucking image. Oh my God, this is the best. Oh man, this is too good. I'm bookmarking that for later. Oh God, I haven't laughed like that in a long. I haven't laughed like that all. Yeah, thanks, Chris. Jeez, hold on. Is it someone like he really? Oh my God, he went full. He did go Mecha Hitler. Oh my God, he went crazy.
Who's this, Elmo?
Yeah. Wow. Wow. But on a more serious note,
I think Elmo's been listening to Tucker Carlson too much.
Speaking of someone who might have listened to Tucker Carlson,
Nick Fuentes.
Yeah. Well. Here's guy. Look at this shit. There was also we laugh and then we go to something that actually did happen today. So at the same time that Elmo goes full Nick Fuentes or Tucker Carlson these days, hard to tell the difference. We have this. Kentucky church shooting ID'd as aspiring rapper and Free Palestine Muslim. Guy E. House.
He's like Vanilla Ice on the left there.
Well,
with a beard.
Yeah. There was a mass shooting in Kentucky. So now, yeah.
That right picture's funny, man. It's like the perfect white trash picture.
It's about his kid, from what I've heard. The granny and girlfriend won't let him see the kid. Well, that's not good. That's still not good. This guy is dead, by the way. This guy did get neutralized by the cops.
Oh.
So there you go.
Oh, well.
I don't know. I don't know if
it was worth it, buddy.
I hope it was worth it. I do too.
Oh shit, Frank.
No. Shit. No, Chris says I heard Elmo is going to be so Rod's running mate. Good. Shit.
That's good, Chris.
Oh God, it's you know what? I'm gonna say this because I think we're about ready to wrap it up. Unless there's something else you want to talk about.
I don't know. We'll see. I don't think so. But if something pops up,
I just honestly I think this is good because like this is kind of reminiscent to when we first started the show.
Yes, yeah.
Where us like finding random shit to talk about and then
back to our bull.
Yeah, like this is crazy, but like this has been a as busy a weekend as this has been. It's also been one of much gratitude. Like, I do have to say that this has been a weekend where I haven't felt this much gratitude and this happy about where life is headed and what direction things are going in, at least on my end. Married the woman of my dreams, honestly. A woman who, it's one thing. Karina, I'm gonna just go ahead and let it hang out real quick. If you give me a few minutes.
Go ahead.
Karine is the woman I should have married years ago. Karine is the woman I should have married years ago. That woman. But you know what? I say that, and then I think of the lessons I learned over the last several years. Like, I had to go through some things to really appreciate the woman I just married on Friday. I had to understand what a really, really nasty, toxic situation was before so that I could appreciate the woman that I have, the woman that you met.
And I think that's partly what America's kind of just understood too. That's why they voted in Trump again. We had a nasty, toxic relationship with the Democrats, and they got reminded of that, and they're like, even though Trump, says some crazy shit sometimes or whatever, and he's a multiple felon, as the Democrats try to say, and all that shit. It's like still definitely better than what the Democrats are offering. But go ahead.
You can. Well. Just on that point, listen. No matter, there is nothing you could say. There is nothing anybody could say that will make me regret my vote for Donald Trump. You want to call him a felon? Okay. Yeah, I voted for the felon.
No,
I voted for the felon. And you know what? I'm pissed. And you know what? You should be more upset for all of those who are out here saying that, who are like, well, you voted for a felon? Guess what, asshole? The fact that you're not even curious about about that bullshit legal theory that the Manhattan District Attorney, the current Manhattan District Attorney, used to bring those felony charges up, the fact that you're not even curious about it tells me that you are a political hack. You know nothing. You know nothing. Your hatred of Trump is greater than your common sense. Your hatred of Trump is greater than your love of your country.
And in fairness to them, man, it's the media they consume. Like, you're not, if you're used to watching CNN and MSNBC and New York Times and stuff, like, you're not gonna get that story. You're not gonna get that information. You're just gonna hear Jake Tapper and Wolf Blitzer and whoever else is on his fucking places just talk about all day how he's a felon, multiple felon. Oh, he lied about this, lied about that. That's all you're gonna get. You're not gonna get those other stories.
Yeah,
and you trust that media if you're on that side of the fence.
Go right ahead. Enjoy, yep. And keep enjoying your oppression. Keep enjoying your mental illness. Because these people are not going to save you, okay? Please understand this. The Democrats are not going to save you. Republicans ain't either, right? But no one is coming to save you. You have to save yourself, people. That's first and foremost. But getting back to this gratitude of a weekend. This weekend, I have much to be thankful for. I'm very thankful for, of course, my new wife. I'm thankful for her family. Okay. Very thankful to her parents. She's got really, really great folks. Raised her right. Still, Karine is a fair-minded person. Okay. I've learned a lot from her. I've come to really appreciate her takes on things. We talk about politics a lot, probably a little too much, but she's we're talking about a lady who's who used to go to community boards and all sorts of stuff, right? Like her mom is like genuinely interested. Oh yeah, we're going to talk about that today. Something else we're going to talk about. Another reason why we're grateful. But genuinely speaking, this was a fantastic weekend. I'm grateful to my own parents who came up, and and lots of examples of great parenting and great family people. Like my brother Laban, who came up, brought all the kids, all of them, brought all of them. Okay. Like both, so my brother Laban, shout to Laban Carter. He's got both nieces, okay, Lydia and Vivian, and my oldest nephew and my baby nephew. So he has that great distinction. Okay. I have a total of 5 nephews and 2 nieces, and all 7 of them came up. All 7 of them kids came up. This was to see, for these kids to really see like people being happy and people like doing things the right way was very, very important to me. And I love these kids, man. I love them kids. An example. I love them kids, man. But also I'm grateful for you for coming down.
It was great.
And spend a little bit of time with us.
It was an honor.
Thank you, man.
A great time too. Your family. Your family's great. Isaiah, your parents are awesome. I was talking to your dad and your mom for a while because they were sitting next to me.
Yeah, they're great people, bro. And you got to see where my foundation came from, and they're great people. Kevin and Robin Carter are fantastic people. Matter of fact, they just celebrated their 45th wedding anniversary. My parents did yesterday.
Wow. Well done.
My parents were married July 12th, 1980. Okay. At Bethel American Methodist Episcopalian Church. I'm gonna show you because guess what? Because I got to do this. This is honestly all about them. Okay, this particular moment. Hold on, let me bring this up here. Share screen. These are my parents. 1980. July 12th, 1980.
Oh man. Yeah. Isaiah, you look a lot like your mom.
Oh God. Oh, I know. I'm
and your dad too, though.
I look more like my mom than anything. I am an exact twin of my mom. The funny thing, it's crazy because Karina and I were talking about like who's like your dad's exact twin. I'm like, I don't know. Laban, I think. Laban could be.
It's like that sometimes, man.
Because Laban, well, I will say this, like Laban, my first little brother, I think he looks a lot like my dad. Ariel, my brother who lives out in Wisconsin, he looks a lot like my dad. And my youngest brother looks a lot like my father. So it could be them, but in terms of like, but me, no. Here's what happened with me. I got all my mom's looks and all my dad's mannerisms. From the way he talks to the way he walks around, the way he carries himself. Yeah, I am basically the male version of my mom with all my dad's other stuff.
That's funny.
Crazy.
That's how it works,
but let me see. There was something. Oh yeah, another thing. Today is a very another reason for us to be grateful tonight and thankful is this. July 13th is the anniversary of Donald Trump.
That's right.
Surviving an assassination attempt on national television.
Man, we all dodged a bullet, man, that day, honestly.
I want y'all to...
We really did.
We did indeed. And I just want y'all to take a look at this.
Including the Democrats, man. They don't understand. Like, everybody dodged the bullet. The whole country did. The whole world in a lot of ways. That would have been bad.
This image alone, this image right here, is a triumph over evil. Straight up and down. This image right here of Donald Trump. Trump was never supposed to leave Butler, Pennsylvania alive last year. They had the shot lined up and everything. And rest in peace to Corey Comparatori, who unfortunately lost his life that day. Defending his family, protecting his family from gunfire. He died a hero. He died a hero. He died protecting that which is most important. And but I want y'all to that is your job as a man. And I'm gonna tell you something. I am thankful that Trump is alive today. He's alive and well today. I am thankful for that. Because not just because I voted for him and I support him now. Okay. The world would have been thrown into chaos.
Yeah, exactly.
Remember, well, I know none of us remember what happened when the world fell into chaos after JFK's assassination. The exact same thing times about 10.
Yeah.
What had happened with Trump. Because you got to understand, when Trump said, I've said many, many times over the years that Donald Trump was made a truth teller. All these times we were told about how much Trump lies like as easily as water flows. Okay, and then you made a truth teller out of it. This, when I think about what would have happened if Trump had gotten head tapped on live television in front of the entire world, I think to myself, you know what? There would have been a civil war. There would have been total chaos.
Yeah, could have been. Yeah, definitely chaos.
And the communists, the globalists, the soggy globalists would have won. They would have taken control over everything in the chaos. We would have woken up one day and not had a country anymore. The entire system would have been dismantled. Our entire government, the Constitution, would have been dead in a ditch somewhere. And it fills me with gratitude that God protected that man. God protected that man. Bobby Walter said 92 rallies. That was CNN's first live.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Oh, they wanted. Oh God, the amount of you got to remember. Not too long after the failed assassination attempt, that's when Biden decided. Like 3 days later, Biden got out of the race. Remember? The year right after Trump was elected is when Klaus Schwab left the World Economic Forum. This is a man like the Klaus Schwab founded the WEF, and he didn't just resign; he bolted, like he's in exile somewhere. I want you to understand this for a second, folks. Please take this into consideration. The people who want you, who have been trying to goad you into eating bugs, into owning nothing and being happy, who were taking you, who wanted to take your internal combustion vehicles away, replace them with EVs just to eventually detonate an EMP over your head and brick every single one of those cars. Yes, they were going to do that. They were going to do it. Klaus Schwab was talking about detonating an EMP or some type of massive hack that was going to destroy the electrical grid. They were talking, yeah.
Klaus Schwab was saying, what was
Klaus Schwab was talking about detonating.
Why do you want it? Why do you talk? Was that his plan, or is he saying that was a threat that was going to happen, like a risk or something?
Well, you know, when you talk like this, and we're saying we must be ready for the fourth industrial revolution, and it requires us to detonate an electromagnetic pulse over the world, and that is how we will get our utopia.
It was Darth Vader.
He's been talking about he's been talking about the Great Reset. He's written several books about the Great Reset,
fantasizing about it.
That little Frosagine, what's his name?
His boy,
the Israeli guy. I can't remember his name. Yuval Noah Harari. Yeah, he's worse than him. He's worse than Klaus Schwab. He's worse than Klaus Schwab. But think about it. We're talking about a guy who wanted you to eat the bugs, who wanted to take your cars away. And as soon as Trump got into office, as soon as the one guy who survived not one but two assassination attempts gets elected, he bolts. The United Nations, the World Health Organization, these globalist institutions are on their knees. They are up against it right now, especially once USAID and the Trump administration, once the USAID got dismantled and the Trump administration ended funding.
Yep. How much you want to bet these billionaires aren't going to be putting any of their own money into that stuff anymore?
Fuck no.
How much you want to bet none of them are eating bugs or planning on ever eating bugs or getting rid of their private jets or any of their probably multiple cars?
To that point,
or their giant house that uses up energy.
Did you know, Nick, that I'm gonna set the stage for you real quick. Remember how we used to just hear all the time about like how all of these bad things were happening on these planes, on these flights?
Oh yeah.
Like the doors falling off a Boeing, right? Just like there was just this massive focus on snafus So the reason why that was done was because there was this, they want to basically end commercial flights.
What are they going to replace it with?
Yeah, well, they weren't.
People aren't going to be able to travel anymore? Was this like fucking 1400s or something?
Everything.
We go around like fucking Ferdinand Magellan?
Yes, bro. Look, I promise you, look it up. They were trying to get rid of what they're trying to do. It's all part of their wider war on individual movement.
That's crazy.
So all of these emission standards that of course were in the Sustainable Development Goals, they want to end commercial flying, right? They want to get people out of cars. They want people out of cars. They want people out of cars, out of planes. Okay. And guess which aircraft were exempted? Private jets.
Yeah, of course.
From all these emission standards. Again, the only airspace they wanted were that of Gulfstreams and all these other planes. The elites want to globalize the entire world. They want the world in chaos so they can keep taking money from everybody.
And property and power.
Money, property, power.
Yep.
If they can control where you go, if they can control where you go, If they can control your speech, they can control where you go. If they can control where you go, they can control how you travel. If they can control how you travel, they can make sure that you never travel at all. If they can make sure that you never move, if they make sure you can't move, can't talk, can't do anything while they go around and do everything, guess what? They win. And we have been on that precipice for quite some time, ladies and gentlemen.
So what are they going to do? They were really going to get rid of. They want to get rid of commercial planes, and what were they going to say? Take cruises? Like, what did they ever give it? Because what are they going to? What was the how were woke women going to be updating their Instagram accounts if they don't get to travel to all the like? Were they going to be on the Greta Thunberg boat or what?
Who fucking knows?
Heading to Italy and France?
Who knows, dude?
Barcelona?
I don't know. Anyways, that's our show. Yeah, Bobby Walter said globalists despises. Hell yeah, they do. Individual liberty, the fundamental founding principle of America. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That's our show for tonight. I've got I'm going to enjoy a drink under the stars with my wife.
There we go. Now we're talking.
I'm going to she asked me specifically to have a drink with her in the backyard, and I am going to do so in just a second. I want to give a special shout out to everybody who has been who's been putting money in our wedding fund, hitting up the things in our Amazon gift registry. Greatly appreciated. Don't have a list in front of me, so I unfortunately just have to give a quick blanket thank you. We have been literally flying by the seat of our pants because it's been a very busy weekend. And again, we apologize for the kind of randomness of the show tonight. But we are grateful you're here, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, we really are. We are really grateful for that. Next week, last show before our hiatus, Carrie Smith joins us. Yeah, Carrie Smith.
Carrie, great. I think we've been following each other for a long time, but I don't know if I've ever talked to her too much besides a few tweets. So this is gonna be. I'm definitely gonna enjoy that.
Yeah, Carrie Smith is awesome.
Yeah,
Carrie Smith is awesome. Lots of great stuff on
another
on her
apostate,
account,
I believe, too. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of us, dude.
Yeah,
there's a lot of us.
Pretty much everybody in my Twitter circle is apostates. Almost everybody, I'd say.
Yeah,
disaffected liberals and people who had enough.
Yeah, man.
But hey, shout out to Mrs. Corrine Carter, though.
Yes.
The newly minted Mrs. Corrine Carter.
The newly minted Mrs. Corrine Carter. Baby, I love you. I do love you. I am and I am grateful for you. This picture right here, though. I am going to make this is already my this is already my Facebook page. My like that right there.
A great pic.
With my niece lurking in the back.
Photo bomb.
Y'all don't understand how much I love that little girl. That little girl right there, she's my very first niece. Very first niece. And she's gonna be 6 foot tall. I'm telling you, she's gonna be by age 15, that girl gonna be almost as tall as me. I'm calling it right now. A real sweetheart, takes great care of her baby sister and a baby brother. Okay, is very. You want to talk about somebody who know how to cut up to? Because she's at that age where like she'll say something. It'll start off real innocent. And they'll be like, "Oh, thank God, I can get out of here." Oh man, this is great. But no, Lydia, your uncle Isaiah loves you very, very much, baby. I hope you have I hope you don't. I hope you actually don't watch this because I cuss a lot. So. Anyways, that's our show tonight. Carrie Smith next week. Once again, you can follow us at Isaiah L. Carter. You can follow me at Isaiah L. Carter. You can follow Nick here at Nostra Chavez Apostate Radio NY for all of our show updates. Buymeacoffee.com/apostate radio. Please support the show.
Please
support the show.
I'm running out of drawers, man.
He's running out of drawers. We got to do
I
something.
got assless drawers now. I got assless drawers.
Oh my god!
I don't even know why I'm wearing them anymore.
Oh, dude,
I might as well go commando at this point, man.
Oh yeah, there you go. But yeah, Apostate Radio episode 24, last episode before the hiatus. Carrie Smith will be joining us. Nick, any final thoughts, brother?
No, man, just want to say congratulations again, man. Thanks for having me at the diner with you guys. It was a great time. We saw DMC walk in the door too, which is cool. For my
I forgot about that.
I think it was PMD too with him in the basketball. We saw him in that picture. I feel like it was PMD, Parrish Smith. I think it was, but
no
somebody.
shit.
I think it was another famous rapper from that era.
Oh wow!
He looked familiar to me, but it was definitely DMC. In the Bronx, but yeah, it was a great time. Really great getting to know a lot of your family and meeting Crean for the first time. And I was honored to be there, brother. Like it's a beautiful thing. Getting married and starting a new family and all that, and a new union. It's really a beautiful thing. It's got to be celebrated more.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. That's our show tonight, guys. Have a great night. Please enjoy your weekend. Stay safe this week. And we will see you next Sunday.